Hey, Debsy. How you doing? Hey, Getting from Boston. Good to see you. I love German Shepherds. That is my favorite breed of dog. I got Smith and Wesson, father and son German Shepherds. Smith weighs 130 and Wesson weighs 116. Love me some German Shepherd. Anyway, I'm gonna give it just a minute, and we're just gonna talk a little bit. And I'm gonna share Lauren's page with you. Her and that attorney. Dang it, I should have caught his name, and I know it, but I can't think of it right now. But anyway, she did a really good job saying what happened in court. So I'm not gonna play it on here, but I am gonna show you how to get to her link and share the link in the side. And I didn't schedule this live, so we're gonna give it just a minute. And I'm not gonna stay on here very long because I got some bare knuckle fighting to watch. Anyway, kind of curious. Also, Deb or Getting, have you guys watched Lawrence? Have you guys watched Lauren's live today? It was pretty good. I'll go ahead and get the link. And then we'll talk about it. Yeah, so, oh, you was watching it? Did I interrupt you watching it? I'm so sorry. What do you mean it's live now? I watched it earlier. Are they having another one? Do they have another one going on? Are they live right now? Let me go look. So I don't want to interrupt because I thought they did a really good job over it. I don't see a live. Is it on a different channel? Is it on the other channel that they have? Possibly. I don't know. This one here, right here, is from, and I just went to her page. I don't see a live going there, but that's not to say it's not somewhere else. She also went on Grizzly, but since she did all the work, she deserves all the views. So that's why we are here at her page. But let's see here. Let me back up. Okay. Yeah, I don't see a live right now. I see one from 3 hours ago, but I don't see one from right now. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Yeah, you are. Yeah, that's what I'm on is Pop Crime TV. It's live? Because it's not live for me. I literally just went to that. See, this is hers. I don't see it live. I'm so confused. There's been some crazy stuff happening. YouTube's doing some crazy stuff. Yeah, see, I'm under her with a live. Anyway, if she's live, I didn't realize it. So, but with that said, I do want to make sure that everybody does go and watch this breakdown they did. I think they did a really good job. But I do have a few questions. Definitely have a few questions. And if anybody wants to discuss, I'm going to drop the link. Yeah, I saw it earlier and I just went to her page and I didn't see it now, but hey, it could be. Let's see here. It was live earlier today. Yeah, 5 hours ago, if that helps. Um, I'll tell you, YouTube's been acting crazy. Like when was doing them big old fonts yesterday, I didn't do that. It's so weird. I don't know how to change any of that, so I find that real weird. And you guys can hear me talk, right? You are hearing me? You are hearing me, right? But yeah, well, I'm waiting for a few people to get in here. And we're going to discuss a little bit. I'm a little confused on a couple things. Thank you. I know there's a lag going on right now. And listen, I know everybody takes this case seriously, and I know Christopher does, and I know it goes through his head all the time. So, giving him the space to talk about it, I'm happy to do. Any of you that want to come on the panel and talk about it, the link's there. You're more than welcome to come talk about it. Yes, yes, I am too. I think there's two knives. And that's the other thing I was going to discuss. And we will discuss when more people come in, but I'll talk to you about it. I think that knife sheath that was at Tad's house is to his knife. And I might be repeating myself when other people come in, because if other people come in, I might have to say it again. But I'm really confused on a lot of things. You know, how much do I believe in Cora's testimony? I don't know, guys. I kind of question it, but I wasn't there. I was not there. I wasn't in the court. So, but I do question it. How did she not see what was going on? From everything we're hearing, that she handed Tiffany the stun gun. So how did she not see what was going on with Jillian? That's really got me wondering. And it sounds like Tad's attorney, that's the route she's going. Is nobody saw him do it. So Paul had to have did it. This is crazy. And again, it goes back to the beginning where I was told that supposedly Jillian got out to help Veronica and was hit over the head with a hatchet. That was the original story that was told to me in the first week. I don't know. Definitely a lot more to this. And then it makes you wonder. I mean, we all want to know what happened, but do we really want to know what happened? I mean, they're pretty gruesome details. And the details got to be talked about. And, there's one thing. Now, Carrie Moody and Tara did a good job, too. Let me shut my door. I think Rick's TV's too loud. Let me shut the door. Go, Wesley. One thing I caught in Lauren's video was that she said who all testified, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that she said 2 OSBI agents testified. Did anybody hear? Did anybody hear what the OSBI guy said? Another reason to get that damn transcript, because I'm really curious. If you watched Lauren, she says 2 OSBI agents testified, but they never say what the OSBI said. And it might not be important, but I damn want to know. It's so sad. I want to know. I want to know what they said. I want to know what they said. Did they talk about the scene? Why are we not hearing what OSBI said? I'm just curious. Is anybody else curious? I really want to know. I think Cora lied too. I really do. I don't think she's being truthful at all. If Grice is on the ground getting his ass kicked by Veronica, and she hands Tiffany the taser, how does she not see what's going on with Jillian? Now, let's not forget, Paul's busy. Veronica is fighting like hell. Like she's really fighting back. He don't got time to look and see what's going on with Jillian. So I believe him. I believe Paul is telling the truth now. I really do. But I don't know. I don't feel like Cora is. I just don't. Mm, I don't either. I just don't feel like they're telling the truth. And does anybody else want to know what OSBI said on the stand? Because I do. I want to know it all. Curious. Curious what they said. What even did their testimonies amount to? Yeah, I think it's a big thing. And yes, I think Paul is being honest. But yeah, I want to know everything. I know that's mean, but I want to know everything. Everything that's said in there. I want to know. I think it's important. I think it's important. And hopefully Carrie or Lauren sees this and will update it again. I want to know what the OSBI was saying. Definitely want to know. Let's see here. I don't see Christopher in here yet. I'd send it to. Oh yes, I'd send it to Christopher. So let's see. Um, love that Veronica fought like hell. I agree. I agree. And she tased Paul. Man, said that she had to. Yeah, she should have never had to. Neither one of them. I agree. Yeah, I'll drop you a link. There you go. Or do you want the link? Or are you talking about the link to Lauren? Are you trying to come on panel? Or are you talking about the link to Lauren? I'm going to share the link to Lauren again too, just in case, if you was just wanting this link, okay? There's a few more people that came in. What we're discussing is Pop Crime TV, Lauren, and again, I don't know the attorney's name, and I should, and that's horrible, and I will figure it out. But they go over this, and they do a really good job of going over it. I could do a reaction video to it. Yeah, Lauren was on Grizzly before she went live. That was good too. I'm just going to say I could do a reaction video to it and play it. But, she sat through all that in the courtroom. She deserves them views. She deserves you guys to go to her channel and watch it. But it's worth watching. I like how the attorney breaks it down too. I actually like it better than the one I saw on Grizzly, to be honest. And the fact is because the way the attorney breaks everything down. Now, the only other thing that I have a question about, and that is, let me read this comment first. One OSBI stated he did the DNA swabs. I assume it's swabs when they was arrested, and then passed off to the other OSBI. I don't remember name or what number 2 said. Okay, so they're just talking about the evidence they collected. Is what it sounds like to me. It was crazy. I shared the link, Titus. I just misunderstood. And again, anybody is welcome to come up and discuss. So I just want to make sure you had both routes there. Okay, here's my thought. If it comes out that Cora lied, and then can the prosecutor revoke? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's part of the plea agreement. The thing that's got me wondering also is when you waive your right to a preliminary and a speedy trial, that don't mean that you did a plea agreement. And I'm curious because that attorney said that she did a plea agreement, that Tiffany did, and Tad was the last man standing. I know a lot of attorneys that have to waive that speedy trial because they have to be able to get more information to defend their client. So I'm just curious of what gave them the idea that she's doing a plea deal. I mean, she very well might be doing a plea deal. I'm just curious if we're basing it on waiving a speedy trial in a preliminary hearing. I mean, that's just to give the defense attorney more time. That don't mean there's a plea agreement, right? It's going to be interesting. And we already know which way Tad's attorney's going at this about. They're going to blame Grice for everything. They're going to try anyway. They're going to try to blame Grice for everything. All the name of who was in the Misfits was told on day one from Cora. Oh, really? And nobody got that? That's interesting. So there was only 20 in the Misfits? Are you saying? Because I think somebody said roughly 20. Wow. So, hmm. Yeah, we hadn't heard that either. I hadn't anyway. Other people might have. I had not heard from anybody that Cora gave all the names of the people that's involved with the Misfits. Let's see here. Yes, the OSBI was basically on evidence on day two. Well, thank you so very much. Like I said, I wasn't there, so I'm really not trying to scrutinize any of the work that's been done. I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions. And I wanted to go live because I know a lot of you might not have paid attention to my community post, and that's okay because I'm not real good about posting in the community. But I did share this in a community post. But I wanted to go live because I want you guys to be able to go see it. When we discussed it last night, we thought that they wouldn't be going live till Monday. So I wanted to get that corrected. Plus, I wanted to make sure everybody was doing okay. Make sure everybody's, handling everything okay and doing all right. Okay, I doubt very much that Cora was forthcoming about all the misfits. Yeah, I agree. But I wasn't there. But Quarter better hope she remembers every lie she told, but I bet she slips up. Well, usually liars can't remember the lie they told. And if you've got a good DA, they're going to get it out of you. And the other thing is, Tad's attorney's got to tread on a little bit of a thin water here because she don't want to ask something from Grice or Cora that's going to incriminate her defendant. I mean, that's the DA's job. I did see where Lauren said, I just don't know about this DA. It seems a little soft. I want to say she said she just has a gut feeling. I don't remember her exact words. You need to go watch it. But basically, that she's, my opinion of what she said, and I could get it wrong, was that he's not really trying. Or is that just him? Is he just not very good? So, but if you haven't went and watched Lauren, they did a very good job. They did a very, very good job on it. CT might have named 20, but there's got to be more than 20. I think so too. I think so too. Right, Deb. Okay. I heard that about Cora naming names, but nobody shared those names outside of court. And we might just have to get the transcripts that I've seen anyway. Hmm. I get why some of the things they're not repeating that was said in court. I get it. It was all reported by the second ladies that been covering the story on Carrie. I didn't see any report on Carrie Moody's about the two OSBI. Did I miss it? Because I was trying to watch it. Yeah, that would be Carrie Moody's crime, and we can share that too. Let me go to it. Um, but honestly, I like to take with the attorney there. I really did. I like how he broke down everything. I really liked it. Okay. Yeah, see, I've watched it. Oh, I thought I'd already liked it. But I think they did a good job. If I had to choose, I really like Lauren's, and the reason is because of the attorney she has on there. I like the way he broke it down. Here's Carrie's too. So we got Pop Crime, and we got Carrie's. This one here, I found to be very, very good. Again, the reason I liked it more is because of the breakdown from the attorney. I really enjoyed the breakdown from this attorney. So I'm sharing both. Here is Lauren's too. Let's see here. And there's got to be two knives. I mean, there's got to be two knives. In my opinion, there's got to be two knives. Hi, Carrie. I agree. And with Paul and Cora speaking before Tad, helps Tad and his attorney pick it all apart. Yeah, and his attorney's a really good attorney. I mean, when he first hired her, we looked her up, and if you watch her Facebook page, she basically tells you how she don't lose. All she does is win, win, win. So DA is way too soft. He should have put more effort in. Listen, I'm going to ask a question, and you all know what I mean by it, but is it that he's way too soft, or is it because they all know each other? I don't know. I mean, it's a small town. Everybody knows everybody's business, you know. But he's also the DA in Cimarron, so I would assume that they know each other away from here. There's been people said they all knew each other and were friends. I don't know. I don't live there. Is Buddy Leach their friend? If he is, they should have moved it to Oklahoma City or brought somebody else down to do it. I don't know. But all they needed was for the judge to decide if they could go to trial. Right. I guess where I'm stuck too is even in Lawrence is really where it's brought up. They talk about Tiffany took a plea deal. Uh, I haven't heard anybody say that. Just because you waive your right to a speedy trial and the preliminary does not mean that you took a plea deal. Basically, usually what happens in that situation, the attorney just wants more time and probably wants to see what else everybody else does. You're not late. You're not late. I really haven't said a whole lot of anything other than Lauren's. I shared Lauren's link. It's a really good recap. She's got an attorney there that breaks it down. I'm at work again. If I have to suddenly disappear, okay, Carrie. The live will still be up. I'm not going to do anything with the live, so you could even watch it on replay if you have to. Ricochet says, well, it might not work out in Tad's favor, even if they do pick it apart. That's true. That is very, very true. Let's see here. I think they all know each other. I do too. I don't have any proof of it. Christopher, I'll drop you the link. I don't have any proof that they all knew each other, but listen, we all know. We all know that everybody knows each other down there. It seems like, I mean, it's a pretty small area. And not only that, Buddy Leach goes over to Cimarron. So, and actually, let me think here. Didn't Tad have that pulling a gun on Wrangler and holding it to his head and cocking it? And he paid $10,000 and walked away from it? It's kind of crazy. And it all got dropped. It didn't get charged. And that was over in Cimarron. Who is the DA in Cimarron? Buddy Leach. You can come up, Christopher. There you are.
She's got me.
I got you.
Yeah, Lorraine's got me too. She's licking my ears.
Uh-oh. The dog wants you.
She's got to play with her friends. They was all out there. She was mad at me yesterday for about 3 hours after we went out and she didn't run into any of them. I was like, I can't change their timing. Not for you.
Right. Christopher, I got a question. What do you... Carrie says, Carrie Eaton, after watching something break down the autopsy. Oh, Gavin Fish, break down the autopsies last night after your live. I'm thinking you're right. There has to be more than one knife.
There's gotta be. There's no way that he went that crazy on somebody to do, basically I would call it a mercy to make sure, there's no way. I just I'd love to see the transcript because there's still several testimonies that were given that I feel would have given us maybe the answers, We won't let that happen again. Won't be counting on someone else's opinion. I know that.
And the other question is, well, she did waive her right to a speedy trial. I didn't. Okay, so
she did.
Before. You know how it works. She waived her right to the speedy trial and the preliminary, but she didn't do a plea deal that I saw. What do you think about that?
No, they did not. I promise you. Just like Paul. I mean, if most that she got yesterday was taking the death penalty off, just like he did, which, to be honest with you, after hearing not just one reporter, but several reporters that talked to the family, and that's what they want anyway, is lifetime lockup. They're not death penalty fans. Like I say, I still think that's the easy way out anyway.
Right. So, but as of right now, she's given no plea, and we don't know of a deal.
No, she, like I say, she just didn't want to sit there and be embarrassed. That's what it amounted to. Because can you imagine sitting there with that testimony going on and everybody in there knowing that she's the one that started the plot? Now, don't get me wrong, we found out a lot more. There's a lot more people that were involved and a lot more that should be, always say, held accountable. But she definitely was the one. I mean, I couldn't sit there with that family gawking over my shoulder. That would tear her up. That wouldn't be for Granny.
No, but I mean, I'm with Lauren too. I felt like she gave the family a fuck you.
Yeah, she did.
Because honestly, the family probably wanted to see her reaction when Paul was saying what happened and Cora was saying what happened.
Of course, your outlook on he wouldn't have testified as good if she'd have sat there, because I guarantee you, they said that it affected Beasley's testimony just by Cole's, being in the room. So that anybody that affected, it would have been hindered reactions and candy-coated responses, even the best they can. But I think really everybody's opinion of Paul's testimony is he's being serious, he definitely.
I think so too. Now, what do you
Yeah,
think of Tad? Because Ricochet, and I agree. Tiff doing that gives her the ability to see what comes out of Tad's next proceeding on January 13th. I don't think January 13th will be
there,
done. I think it'll get
there,
continued.
there won't be nothing there. I mean, the next thing would be him to, I guess, enter a plea because, well, I mean, I guess he
He could
hasn't
still
done
do it.
that.
Why couldn't he still do a deal?
Oh, he could.
He could still do a plea deal. Somebody
Yeah, he
messaged
could.
me yesterday and said he can't do a plea deal. I said, why? You
No,
can
he
do a
can.
plea deal all the way up to your trial. I've
Yeah,
seen it.
until you accept the. In fact, it's after the plea, after their hearing, there's enough evidence that is posted that they have enough to proceed with charging. Now, the next question is, how do you enter? And if you enter guilty, not guilty, or you want to tap out, which is that's the way really a plea deal is talked about because that's what you did was you tapped out. You didn't want to fight, so that's what that's where we're at. Now we're waiting on him to plead, to actually say he's not guilty, or like Granny said, I mean,
Well, actually, we're waiting on her too. She has not pleaded.
she hasn't. She hasn't. Yeah, she hasn't entered that either. So
And
I
really,
really don't.
Cole hasn't either, other than his paperwork on the OSCN. It's written to the side like it's a plea deal. It's a life sentence with 30 years suspended, is what's written on the side of that. So
Well,
we don't
just
know
like
that that's a plea deal. I've never seen a plea deal like that, where it's just written on
no,
the side.
I would honestly, to be honest with you, that's this first judge trying to get as much help as he can get in before this second judge takes over, and that second judge has got to be the one that signs off on all this. Let's put it this way: they went in to explaining how the lawyers are, or I should say, the advocate is in contact with the family, and then back in contact with the prosecutor.
Well,
Well,
it
no,
should be that they should be. That's what the attorney said. That
no,
the
they are. I guarantee you that. I mean, I've been involved in enough that they definitely do their job, but
I
there's
don't
no
know.
way that the family ain't gonna just go off and say, yeah. But honestly, they probably are saying okay on the death penalty because they did talk to the family.
I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious of how much the DA does talk to the family, because when all that stuff got released not too long ago, he sure didn't let them know it's going to be released. They found out on social media.
Right. Yeah, they
So
definitely do.
I hope he's
Well,
doing better about it, because they should have every process in what plea deals are going to be made. And
let's
if
put
they're
it
okay.
this way, and I'm not ever going to be the one taking the side of a prosecutor. Most time, I find that that's the thing, but they probably only got one contact in that family, maybe two or three. And if they only contact those, doesn't mean that it's passed on to the other three. And then you got 20 other opinions going, we didn't hear nothing, Well, I'm sure the
Right.
ones that the actual one that it would be like your emergency contact that you write down. I'm sure they're contacting Julian and Veronica's emergency contacts, but nobody else, I don't
Right.
believe
And what
I
I'm
wouldn't go
showing
any.
on the screen, right now is Cole Twombly's waiver. And then right
Yeah,
here above this signature of attorney for the state, waived to the maximum of life, suspended all but 30 years.
I guarantee you, and I mean, let's put it this way, I may be wrong, but I guarantee if you had a handwriting analysis, that was him putting that on there before he signed it. If he wasn't a very smart man, because you got to get some type of notification of what they said to have any grounds to stand on. And with that being signed by all the things, and him surprised he doesn't have his initials right next to it.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's really not going to, there's no way that'll hold up in court that he signed that, for the fact that he didn't.
Yeah, he didn't initially. But I doubt his attorney would have put his initials if he'd have done it. So I have to assume. Of course, here we are. Assuming gets us all into a lot of trouble, and we've assumed a lot of things.
Never assume, makes an ass out of you and me. But at this point, we have to assume.
Yeah, because we can't get the actual. I would say I would love. I would be. What would the OSBI agents be testifying to that they needed? I knew what the big R score and the phone guy was set to testify against, but the OSBI, unless it would have been specifics on the splatters on the clothing or something like that, maybe they just are.
We had somebody come in here, and she said, "I'm trying to go back to the thing." Okay. Also, somebody says that Cora named all the misfits on day one.
Yes, she did. Not all of them, but a lot. Well, I don't know about. I can't say it wasn't all of them, but the major ones, she laid it all out. It was how it started. I mean,
Yeah, but this says all the name of who was in the misfits was told on day one from Cora.
right.
What that list did.
Well, I believe what she listed was the ones that were at the meeting when they first had started. I don't know that she narrowed it down that this was the only ones, but she did name the ones.
The OSBI was there on evidence. Yes, the OSBI was basically on evidence on day two. That's what somebody's saying.
Yeah. That's what I figured too, was, something, because that's all they had to do was then testify that basically every one of their DNAs was found, so they can't eliminate anybody. I'm sure they didn't go into any details, just abroad. I bet them two agents weren't up there 15 minutes apiece if they were that. It sounded like the cross-examination of Paul took most of the morning and then some, because they started immediately bickering, trying to go, oh, no, you're responsible for both, which is definitely, that's what that lawyer's getting paid to do. So he ain't stepping in there. At least they gave some of them. Like I say, I'm surprised that all of their attorneys really not be only partial ones being there for certain, guarantee her attorney wasn't there or was there for the second day and listening to everything. He just probably wasn't wanting to tip his hat, or even maybe he wasn't even granted the ability to cross-examine. That's probably what it is. When they tapped out and waived their speedy trial, that attorney doesn't have the ability to cross-examine. So Tad's was the only attorney that had the ability to cross-examine, or at least what I'm hearing, or nobody's testified that any of the other attorneys.
So Ricochet says, so this is kind of a sneaky way to not have all five tried at once. I don't see where all five could have been tried at once anyway.
No.
You have a right to be judged by your peers, and I don't see where they would have been able, and I'm not an attorney or a judge, but I don't know how they would have been able to do all five at once anyway. That would be nuts.
They were never even acknowledging that they was going to be able to do that. They just knew that for the preliminary, that was the only way they was going to get that. Was if they had started with one, we wouldn't have four of them tapped out already. We'd be going through this 5 times. So I'm glad they sped that up.
Right.
But now, yeah, because that definitely helped a lot with the family turmoil. Because then all these stories, at least this is a combined story, and if it's not, say 100% accurate, which portions of it I guarantee aren't,
right,
then we're gonna get. Like I say, I honestly could see them, all their pleas being thrown out. That's what I'm praying for. I'm praying for Father God to step in and say, no, there's no easy way out of any of this. You're all gonna, stand, at least get every ground that you were charged with.
Right. I want to say something else too. I know I don't think like everybody else, and sometimes I really dig into stuff, and I should not dig so far. But it's really bothering me that on the second interview with Paul, they're at the Four Corners, and he said he's did it, but they don't arrest him because they don't have a warrant. This guy has admitted to the murder, at least of Veronica, and they're going to let him go home until they get a warrant, and they call him and he just comes in. That's crazy.
Let's put it this way, that wasn't OSBI. It had to be a local cop that interviewed him.
Well, any Ellie though, you know as well
Oh,
as I do. There's always a judge sign a
oh,
warrant.
exactly.
There's always a
Yeah,
backup plan too.
that one definitely floors me that he was ever. To be honest with you, I
I
wonder
mean, what
when
if he
that
would
set.
have went to Mexico with his family like he asked his friend?
Exactly. The thing is, I wonder how soon that second meeting was, because we're just assuming it
Right.
was, how we don't know the chronological. And they very well. I mean, this could all come down. And to be honest with you, with everything that's come out,
We might not learn more.
Norman and them were probably right, and they probably knew this from the very beginning. So they wasn't wasting time except for trying to get enough evidence to seal them all. If they'd went in on the first whim, they wouldn't have had a solid case.
Yeah, but I don't know anybody that confessed to any crime, and the cops say go home until we get a
Oh,
warrant
no way.
ever. So I find that
No.
really weird.
First of all, that's the first ground to be able to hold them. You don't need anything more than confession.
Right?
Yeah, so guarantee he wasn't confessing to anything, or that cop was definitely dirty. Which could be one of them that brought the cell phones into him and everything else too.
Right?
Been way too many crooked accusations that let's put and this is I shouldn't be speaking this way because it's just more of I know that reaffirming that with Wrangler calling his mom off of something that wasn't a jail phone and stuff like that, is affirming that they had cell phones in there. There's way too many things that have lined up and witnesses that have nothing to gain if they didn't. You ask that right question and takes that speculation right out of it. And
Yeah.
then I'll bet, like I say, I bet you money they've had everything they wanted in jail. That's why they're happy staying there because they get what they want.
Right. And Lavender says unless this case is moved, it will not be good. Too many friends of the five in LA. I'm gonna agree. I think they are friends. Rumor has it that Buddy
I,
hung out at Tiffany's house. I don't know. I don't live there. I'm only
I
saying
think,
what people said.
yeah, in the very first in chat rooms, they was coming in and saying she had dated a couple cops
Well,
and stuff.
KM. Yeah, KM was one.
Mm-hmm.
But I was told that Buddy was friends with them. And, actually spent some time there. And look at that sweet deal Tad got. He pulled the gun, held it to Wrangler's head, cocked it, paid $10,000, and it went away.
Yep. Wasn't even a hearing.
Nope. It's just
That's the type of buddies you need in the law system. I didn't know there was a price for getting out of them. They always said you could buy your freedom, but I'd never actually seen proof. That would be that's the most proof I've ever seen.
Right.
Because it wasn't washed or hidden. Just completely dismissed.
I don't know. Listen, it's not that I'm trying to put like Ellie down and stuff. I just have questions, okay? Some of this stuff is not being worked like I would normally see it worked. So I have questions about it. So, you know me, I like to dig at things because I want it right. I want it right.
I can sure tell you that I wish that the sheriffs had body cams because I'd sure love to see what they pulled up on to investigate when they first found that vehicle. What family members turned the vehicle in?
Right.
That I would love to talk to them just to see. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to bring up, but I'd like to know what they really actually seen because they were the ones that first found that vehicle.
Right.
Did they look that far or did they just see it and called it in? That would be the big question because they got out. Well, which chances are they didn't? They probably just pulled up and look. They didn't get out and investigate. Hopefully,
Right.
But I'd love to have seen the body cams of when they first got on scene because I think there was a lot. They had to back the trailer up to loader and stuff like that. There would have been tire tracks moved all over, and we obviously.
Well, I will say this: if you go look at very first at my videos, very first, and I go to El Road a lot. It looked like they had a lot of water. There was a lot of ruts in that little side road thing there.
Mm-hmm.
Deep ruts that even in my four-wheel drive, when I drove over it, I could feel the bottom of my car hitting. And I
Mm-hmm.
want to say that's not even a road; it's a track, a farm track. Does that make sense? I think somebody said it was a
It's
farm track. It's not a road. I mean, it's
it's a
blocked off.
correct. No, it's a correction line. Is what that is. So they have to. What man does two counties meet up there, and they had to correct the roads to get them to line up because the
Oh,
two engineers. That's what that is. A correction line.
oh, well, that makes sense. I'm glad you answered that because they
Yeah,
put
that's.
poles up at the end of that of where her car was. At the end
Mhm.
of that road, there's actually I went around them, but there's
Right.
actually stuff there where you're not supposed to, be able to get out down there.
Chances are, I bet you money. Not. No, I'm not going to say 9 times out of 10, but I'll bet a couple of times a month you drive by and there'll be a sheriff's officer from both counties sitting right there talking and doing speed check or whatever. Because wherever they
Right.
meet, that's their boundaries, and they abide by them. You don't go past that line, I won't go past. If that guy throws a cigarette butt out of the passenger side, you get him. I'll get him on the driver's side.
Right. Grandma Shelley, you have a you have your mind right. I know what you're saying. She's saying the five still have family and friends out here, and the rest of the God's misfits that didn't move. I
Yeah.
wonder if everyone that has to testify feels safe, or if they will try to drive him in some way. Now, if you guys remember, me and Carrie was going to that school, and Frank Pombley said he could shoot us from a mile and a half away.
hmm
So, and
And
that's his
and that's the
son.
one that's
He's still
married.
there,
That's the one that's married to Cook's daughter.
right?
Right.
I haven't
Yeah.
heard anybody say he's moved.
This is definitely family infiltrated. Like I say, everybody knew everybody. And,
Right.
and
And
chances are, by all the good buddy deals, I mean, don't get me wrong, we all want to see these pictures that were supposedly released, but it wouldn't surprise me one bit if this isn't all true, factual, and man, yeah, I mean,
mhm.
they knew.
And the first interview, Paul Grice was drunk. I mean,
Hmm
why didn't they arrest him for public intoxication? Or did they go to his house and talk to him? I don't know.
I
But
bet you did.
I think there was ways they could have arrested him, especially if
Oh yeah,
also Lavender says yeah, he said he was drunk the first time they interviewed him. Why couldn't they get him in intoxication?
well, okay, here's the true facts of where this case is still at. They're still not solved it. They still can't answer all these questions. So they're not going to push anything. And if they could have let him back out for him to make a mistake or do anything, they still don't even know where the girls' phones are. I mean, we're needing a second knife. I mean, there's all kinds of things that
Uh-huh.
they're just
I
sitting back waiting for
uh,
it to unwrap.
I love Ricochet, and you were one smart cookie, but I'm going to say this too. Your comment to at Lavender. Well, it wouldn't be that hard to keep Ellie eyes on him if they wanted exactly, but did they? I don't know. Did they keep eyes on him? Did they see him go to his friend's house and ask how to get to Mexico and stuff like that? We don't know.
Well, if they didn't, they got sad cops because they should have
Well,
had him every.
don't get me started. Don't get me started on how I feel. So,
Yeah, exactly. We know they got sad cops, but definitely, like I say, them guys were. I bet you. Well, they had several enforcers on, so they weren't lack of manpower to be able to do that. And I
right,
guarantee that's what they were doing was. That's why you wasn't seeing nobody move because they wasn't wanting to show no movement. If they
right,
would have been looking, they'd have been looking for them girls. They would have caused these guys to do totally stupid or different actions to where they just sat back and acted like wasn't nothing going on. That's
right,
the biggest cop tool they use is let's act like nothing's going on. I mean, it's down to where they set up surveillance. They set up a van that looks like something that's supposed to be in the neighborhood or, They said an old car, it looks like it's supposed to be sitting there and full of cameras, or, they're pretty sneaky.
Yeah,
And
get
they got,
this. For you to see a smile, she's always real good about getting court documents and stuff too. She says they had CW on standby because they have court papers stating to pay for the motel room for her and an adult. The state has to pay in the amount of $900 for 3 days.
no, like I say, they really didn't know where this case was going. And they was planning on putting her on there, wasn't they? Because the way it sounds, they didn't have a
Court could have
interview.
backed out at the last moment, so they would have had to have CW there.
Exactly. Yeah.
I get it. That makes sense.
Oh yeah, because she was the main one that got everything going. Cora did that to keep her daughter out of it, which is the only respectable thing I've seen her do yet. Only respectable thing.
Right.
She definitely I won't say, and she's protecting her husband because I believe he was involved a little more than what they did. Well, they said that he did the drive the night before they all loaded up and did a drive out and talked about it.
Right.
So, and see, that just shows how every one of them had the chance to stop this or throw a wrench in it, and nobody stepped up. Nobody. Wow.
Right. Here is Tad's. I was going to pull it up. Let's see here. She says it's on Tad's at the hotel, if I'm understanding her right. So I'm trying to find it here real quick. Like I said, I'm not going to keep you guys very long. Let's see here.
Yeah, there's not a lot we can talk about except for.
This might take me a minute to find it, so I don't know which one it is. So I'll just pull them all. Okay. Cole Twombly. Okay, State of Kansas versus Cole Twombly, Tad Colum, and Tiffany Adams, because that's what's left. I hereby certification to the court clerk. I hereby certify that the below itemized monies as evidenced by the attached claim forms hearing the official voucher number as listed below were expected and paid by the office of the district attorney to pay for the lawful and necessary expenses and fees of the listed witnesses who appeared should be taxed as costs in the styled and numbered case and collected as other costs in the case, all pursuant to 28 OS section 153 K3. All witness fees, monies collected should be transferred to the district attorney. And then there's says Cody White, $948.60.
Right.
Kobe White. Weird. I don't know.
It didn't say CW in there, did it?
Well, I mean, maybe I'm reading it wrong, and I shouldn't be reading that probably, but you guys are seeing it anyway. But the first name starts with a C and the last name starts with a W.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't catch that till after I read it, but it does start with a C and end with a W. So let me go down a little bit further. There's the name of the claimant, and it has that name again, and it says minor victim.
Right.
And yeah, it's got it broken down.
Yeah, go to show they aren't holding their identifications any longer.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, because she'll get paid. They have to pay them to testify, witnesses, right. And then there would be underneath it. It's not at lodging, but underneath that it says mileage, total miles. Excuse me. Whatever that is, they didn't do it on the lodging line, but it says $656.60. Meals were $272 for 4 days, and for 2 days at $10 a day, $20, all coming to a grand total of $948.60.
Wow, they listed it out everything, huh?
It looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, There was no hidden disclosure there.
Okay. It does say CWA minor, care of Kobe White. So
Right.
I'm just going to assume that's dad.
I believe that is. I think I read that somewhere else before.
Yeah.
It was in one of the. I've read so much paperwork on this stuff.
I know. I'm going to get
Can't
that.
remember exactly, but it was something like that. But White was his name, because he's the one that had to bring her in for the second and third interview, because they interviewed her 3 times, I think it was.
Right.
And
Okay, so we did look at that so everybody could see that, Ricochet and everybody. Hopefully you got to see that. Ricochet says, I don't know what Ellie did. It does seem strange. They were so lenient with him, though. Yeah, talking about Paul Grice. Yeah, it's just, I find it crazy. No. Carrie says, Rock, I spoke to you about this. I'm not a medium, but Jillian came to me and I had several visions about this. There was a strong feeling that an officer was present. Yes, you did tell me that, but I've also felt the same way. So it's kind of crazy.
An officer was present. What's that?
Mm-hmm. Or somebody they identified as a cop that knew that was there.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, oh.
I don't know. We know they were there afterwards, and that could be what you're seeing. But listen, I don't put anything past like the anybody on the Brady list. I'm not going to trust. How about that? That's where I'm going to put that at.
Right. Paul's got everything but his badge. He might as well be a cop. He's
right.
Done
and
everything.
For to see you a smile. Yes, I absolutely remember you saying Jamie was at the casino. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Love you back, Beach Baby. Let's see here. I'm trying to get through the questions because one of the reasons I went live, like I said, I wanted to show Lauren's live on it with the attorney. He breaks it down a bit to where you guys can understand it better. At least I could. So
yes,
I wanted to share that. Plus, I know this is hard. Lauren was crying talking about it. It is really hard to talk about.
I could only imagine in that room. How could you not feel the trauma?
Oh, yeah. I feel it hearing it secondhand.
Yeah. Well, I'd say I just know that maybe we have to mark that trauma up as a reason we're not getting very good reports out of there.
Right.
We need somebody that was paid, that court stenographer or whatever they call the court reporter that types it all out. We need that report because he was paid to write down everything.
Right. Carrie says, why, if Grice did all the knife work and rode in the trailer, why was the cab of the truck bloody?
Well, no, that would have been. They didn't say that was the only blood, because the other ones had carried the bodies and everything else.
Right. So they would have had blood on them.
Yeah, I mean, they had some. They just was trying to minimize. I mean,
Paul was currently bleeding because he damn near cut his finger off.
He's gushing blood.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not.
He's going to ride in the back trailer too. He's not going to bleed all over my vehicle.
Well, this kind of sounds a little, but I've been in the oil field, and there's times that we've taken people to the hospital that we didn't put in the front of the pickup. We put them in the back.
Right.
There's no way that you're putting them up in a vehicle, especially like that. How are you going to keep the blood off? Could have had 10 rolls of paper towels. The way it sounds, he needed about 3 doctors to stitch it back together. I wonder how bad that is, because if he ever did go get anything done to it, or doesn't sound like he did.
Stacy Cook fixed it for him.
Right. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Doesn't sound to me like. Yeah, he didn't go see no doctor.
Yeah, but think back in the days when people got shot. They don't go to the hospital to get it out. They put a wash rag in their mouths, and guess what? A little bit of gunpowder, and they're going to get that bullet out. Back in the old days, right?
Yeah, whiskey. You got a shot of whiskey.
Yeah.
Turn your head and cough.
Ricochet says, I don't know where this one knife thing come from. Now, when you left last night, I don't know if you went to bed, But you said you was going to go back and watch Gavin and look over the autopsies. Did you
Yeah,
find anything new as far as the knife wounds?
let's put it this way: they weren't. I can't say that there's a possibility that that would ever be ruled as they were all the same knife wounds, because there was, you could, when I looked at all of them, that wasn't even the same size cuts, same, things like that. Nothing on any that I seen. So I think that particular statement was totally out of text, and but I'll jump on their bandwagon. If it was, they had matching knives.
Right.
That's the way I feel. I'm sorry, but that probably isn't right either. But I mean, everything else they had to have. I mean, I could see her having them both suited up the same way.
Absolutely.
Probably,
So
yeah,
Carrie
either that or one.
misunderstood you. Carrie misunderstood you. Wait, Chris, did you say Grice was a cop? No, he did not say Grice was a cop.
No, what I was saying with Grice has done everything that he's done everything except for went for the law enforcement academy to be a cop, because he's crossed all the I's and covered all the T's, and he would definitely, he's not going to have a easy time in prison, because he's going to be labeled with a snitch jacket in there, and that's that'd be the best thing that could happen. Go get put in major populations in a serious prison and get that jacket on. He'll be giving up money to commissary to keep from getting beat up daily.
Right. Ricochet says, did Tad's attorney mention one knife or implied that? Because I'm not seeing it anywhere, speculation from somewhere. Actually, yes, Tad's attorney basically was trying to get Paul Grice to say he did it all. And actually, he ended, if I understand right, he ended up saying, I really don't know how. I thought I only stabbed her 2 to 3 times, but I really don't know how many times I stabbed her.
Right.
And I could have that wrong, but that's the way I took it.
Right. Well, and like I say, I'm going off context of what KSN said with the same, her statement was they were done by the same weapon, and which totally draws a conclusion or a thing. And
yeah, I don't know. Misspoke. I think Julia's actually misspoke.
Yeah. So. But if that wasn't a misspoke, then they had matching knives. But here we go. I'm assuming something just like everyone else would.
Right. Well, I agree. I think Paul was too busy again because Veronica was kicking his ass.
Yeah.
He didn't have time. He needed help. He didn't have time to see what was going on with Jillian. And they did something with Jillian way before he even got to do anything with Jillian.
He even said that because she was out of the trailer, they already loaded Jillian into the trailer, and then they had to back up to load her up.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't know. I could be wrong on this right here, but for some reason, I feel like he did something to Veronica, and then he did something with Jillian and came back to Veronica. Or did that just get in my head for no damn reason? Have I heard that?
I never heard anything about a return back to Veronica.
Just been, something
that it took forever to get her. He wasn't quitting. I mean, honestly, the jumping up and down whatever the Cora scene was, him not quitting until he had her dead because she was whipping him.
Yeah,
that turned into a fight for his life, not hers too.
That's right, man. I can see it now too.
I just wish they'd come up with the gun that was missing and found out that it'd make me so happy that Jillian shot somebody or shot at him anyway,
Well, we know that Tiffany couldn't have did it alone because she'd have got her ass kicked. These women fought.
Yeah.
They absolutely fought. Kind of weird finding the knife cover at Tad's house that supposedly belonged to Grice. Grice was at Tad's when they arrested Tad. Maybe Grice left it. I don't know. We're assuming that there was probably 2 knives.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an assumption we don't want to put out there, but that's in our own little head. But
well, listen, we're only giving our opinions. We're trying to talk about it here. We don't know that any of this, other than what we see on the court pages, is correct, and we're not even sure about that. Because did Cole do a plea bargain or did he not? We still don't know.
Yeah, we know that let's put it this way. I know he went to jail shaking and thinking he did. Because he sure marked it
I
down.
just find it weird how they just wrote it to the side like that. That's just weird.
Yeah. Well, you don't normally get an agreement in a plea bargain when you do it in the middle like that. I mean, I honestly don't think that anybody's plea would have been granted if you do it in the middle like that. They're not in a position to check with the judge to make sure it's okay because he's busy, So there's no way no way any of those were negotiated pleas. And like I say, I'm just praying that they throw them all out. There ain't no, because that's the scariest portion is that one of them could see the light of day because there ain't none of them that need to ever see the light of day.
Now, I think this comment that's made right here, this is what you feel like too, Christopher. Ricochet says, if I recall the testimony recounting, Grice didn't really see Jillian till she was in the trailer on her back.
Exactly.
Is that how you took it too?
Yes, that was described by 2 or 3, both the lady, well, it was the one that I watched last night, partially too, and she talked about the testimony of Grice's, and that was what her recollection was, that he didn't remember or know how she got in the trailer because she was there magically when he got done, and they didn't have to worry about getting Veronica in.
Yeah. And in court, it was said that Tad and Tiffany was dealing with Jillian. And then Carrie says, but Jillian also had wounds to her hands. You are correct. They said her I don't remember which hand was sliced open, but a defensive wound on one of them hands. So again, I think there's 2 knives too. We'll see.
The only thing that makes me, I looked at that and the one defensive wound on her hand was really deep. So it could have been from a hatchet. That was the only thing that made me stop on my conclusion of the knife weren't matching, but
yeah, Poor to See You Smile says, yes, she had 2 slices defensive.
Yes, she did. Yeah. So, but like I say, it didn't eliminate. And I'm gonna say until I'm proven wrong, I'm going with if there was any explanation to that statement being made by KSN, then there had to be both of them the same type of knife, or realistically, you're not gonna. If they got this plan, they didn't just I'll bring a knife. I guarantee you they were handed a knife, both of them.
Not only that, I think Grice is actually telling the truth.
I do too.
I'm like him. I'll tell you exactly what I did, but you're not going to blame what Tad did on me. No, I'll sit here and own what I did, but no, you're not throwing that extra shit on me. I'm never getting out. I got the death penalty anyway, but I'm not taking a charge for him. He did that part. I didn't. Yeah, I'm not saying I did it. I'm gonna fight because I'll take credit for what I did, but not somebody else's.
Well, they all demonstrated guilty of the kidnapping. All kinds of charges that shouldn't be washed away. It should be added on. Now, you want to take the death penalty off and do that, then maybe we'll give you some leniency on one of the big charges, but all them little ones should still be adding up.
Right. And me and Christopher's already decided we're going next time. Well, he's going in. He's going to really go in, and he's got the mind of an elephant. He will be able to tell you everything.
I'll tell you what, that we won't have these questions as to what was really said.
Yeah, because you're a lot like me. You're gonna be truthful and honest, and it might hurt some people's feelings, but it's what was said. And if Court TV was in there, we'd be hearing it. And unfortunately, they're not in there. And it is small, but there's no reason why you can't go in there anyway. Here you are. You're on YouTube. You're on the panel. You're now a creator. I just made you a creator.
Okay, well, I don't want to take that position. I just want to get the truth, and I sure don't want no candy-coated versions or no lack of testimony, because everything that every piece of this evidence is what it's going to take to actually put the story together. And I'm about 85% now. I'm going to call my story put together. And that other 15%'s eating me up,
Yeah, I know it is. Or to see you smile,
somewhere.
because I think they're holding back what Tiffany did say, so it will what Tiffany did, so it will be the icing on the cake.
Well, put it this way, Paul didn't hold back. He gave him, that was enough that we know that she celebrated, and she thought she was the conquering queen at that moment. And then it all went south. I say, I guarantee everything that has to do with our questions of why Paul Grice wasn't arrested, all that, all of it's going back to, they didn't have it solved. They still don't. There's still so many missing pieces that at that particular time, they do nothing but sit back and surveillance. They don't want to rock no boat. They don't want to change nothing. They just want it to continue to flow so they can put the answers to this just like we are.
Yeah, well, 14 days to me is a long time. Knowing the day of, you've already got everybody. That's why you're not doing the search. You know what went down. But it took you 14 days to put them into custody, and it took longer for Grice.
Actually, I'll bet, that was the only information that CW broke early, but she didn't have the locations to give them and all that. And yeah, I got to honestly say that recording of that crazy cowboy saying he wanted to get in a helicopter and fly around and scope things out was probably one of the better things that they could have done, or not necessarily him, but,
Right.
Without surveillance, there's so much, if he'd float over that area, I
Yeah,
honestly believe,
Go ahead.
and I don't know this for a fact, but they've now, well, I shouldn't say that, because they now have a thing where like cell phone pings can be traced automatically to the cops now. Because there was actually a lady that had her kid kidnapped, and he had the young child had a phone, and it pinged out by my farm, and this was like 5 years ago. And they went off of that and said that they could trace that cell phone ping, and they knew that it happened right there. And in fact, I know that I've had 911 calls that supposedly there was a 911 hang up in my mile section, and the cops come to my house. So they've got that technology available to invest. I'm not going to say any city cop can walk in and look at it, but their information can be quickly tracked and traced down to where that should have been
Right.
the most damning evidence that they have,
Here we go. You're right. We didn't know. Talking about Tiffany, Ricochet is. We didn't know she was, according to the info that was public, we didn't know she was there, basically, is what she's saying. And then Cora took Tiffany home afterwards. Mm-hmm. And then Ricochet says, seems like she could have been sitting home with the kids or something. Yes, Ricochet.
Oh, no. But she was baiting lure.
Oh, she wanted to see it. She wanted to make sure they followed through.
Sorry, but without her, they couldn't lure her there. She was the bait. And that's how she tried to, Grandma's story of how cute the calf was and everything else. Who could have told that story? Nobody but her.
Right. And they wouldn't have pulled up for just Tad and Colin or Tad and Grice. No, that wouldn't happen.
No way. It was total bait and lure, and took every one of them to complete the link. And yeah, and then it wasn't as good. I could say with Julian's gun being out of her purse, I'm still holding on to that thought that I just, somehow she at least got some shots off, or there's no way.
I want to show you guys something. So Carrie Eaton says, well, any video with blood in the ditch that might be possible might have been the actual attack. Listen, guys, I didn't realize that I screen recorded. I want to show you this real quick. If you go to my page,
yes,
I did not realize that I did this, but if you go to my page, check this out, guys. Go to my channel, and you go to videos.
Yes.
Check this out right here.
Came out here, to people came.
Yeah,
out
I'm going to be there watching the rest of that.
They thought
this is where they say they saw,
and for one reason or another, probably because they didn't really feel like they could law enforcement didn't communicate to them probably that we're not looking for this women because we know that they're deceased.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to tell you, and this is one of those things that I've never said, and I don't know whether I should or not, but I'm going to. Derek was coming home from Guyman, and he shot a lot of the first video of what was going on out there, and he didn't know what was going on. But Derek being Derek, he started to check out what was going on, and people tell him things. And so pretty quickly he knew what was going on. And so, kind of the same way with me, people tell me things, and people send me stuff. And so I knew by that afternoon that as far as law enforcement was concerned, that these women were deceased. And that's why there was no search for them. I believe law enforcement also had a pretty good idea where their bodies were at the end of the first day. And I had seen crime scene photos that I probably shouldn't have seen. And even though I've heard some people describe small puddles of blood, the puddles of blood that I saw in the crime scene photos were, in my opinion, and I've had some experience with this, were not survivable amounts of blood loss. I mean, I saw blood pooled on the surface of the road and then running down into the ditch and secondary pools in the ditch. And that's, a lot of people don't realize this, but your body doesn't contain as much blood as you think it does. And any blood loss over about 3 pints is likely not or can be fatal. And by the time you get to 4 or 5 points, it's almost certainly fatal. Okay. And so, like I said, one of the reasons why there wasn't a search going on, and I know it was frustrating for a lot of people and they didn't understand it. And so I God bless those people who came out here to look. But I think one of the reasons why there wasn't a search going on was because, and it hasn't been stated by law enforcement, but law enforcement pretty much knew that these 2 women were deceased. And they had a pretty good idea of who did it. I mean, I had people tell me by that evening who they thought had done it. And as it turns out, they were
just move over. There
right,
they are.
Exactly. And so, and let's face it, it didn't take long to put 2 and 2 together. Once you knew who the victims were, all of those court documents of the custody battle were out there. All right. Everybody knew these people knew that there had been a custody battle. You think Veronica and Jillian's families that came out here looking for them, that's who found that car. You think they didn't know who to point the finger at almost immediately? Of course they did. And that's what makes this so sad and so devastating in so many ways. Okay. Their families came out here looking for them because they didn't show back up. And their families found that vehicle. And their families found those pools of blood. And they're the ones that called the police. And that's what happened. And they knew who to point the fingers at. Okay. And that's one of the things that I think gets lost in this is, we look at it, and I try to do it because I think it's the best way to do it. We try to look at it in an impersonal and just the facts kind of way. But the truth is, this was a devastating thing. It was a devastating thing for those families who had to come out here and find the car and very likely find the murder sites of their loved ones, and who had to call the police themselves, and who knew in all likelihood who had done it. And so that's that to me is the worst aspect of this whole thing. And I've never talked about it before, and it's one of those things I've tried to avoid talking about, but there it is.
Well, to me, I think so to me, the reason same for that first day. Yeah, you and me we knew a lot of the same stuff. So why didn't you say anything on day one? Because we knew all the we didn't know all them, but we had an idea that it was this group. 2 of the people on the screen were definitely mentioned on day one.
Right.
I had seen crime scene photos. I probably should have seen. Why? And the only thing I did was at the behest of somebody who claimed to be involved in law enforcement got a hold of a friend, and they sent me, said, hey, they asked you, do not show these, but describe them. And so I went and described them on Facebook and asked for prayers. I think somebody gave me shit within like 10 minutes, and I took it all down.
Yeah.
Like, I took it off. Like, why didn't you? Why? And is that even integrity? Is it, or is it more?
Well,
decency?
I've never talked about it before now because my input was not required. It's not a necessary part of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter that I knew that stuff, you know? And so I never talked about it because my impression of things is not facts are what's important. And so, you know, that's why I've never talked about it, I guess. That, and I always figure that if people tell me stuff and send me stuff that, you know, I have a little bit of an obligation to kind of keep that confidential too. So,
yeah, I'll never reveal my sources unless it's like, you know, restaurant related, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We know he's got good restaurant sources, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, you know, I did save it. I was really shocked that I still had that.
Yeah. I watched that live when that happened. And then, like I say, I looked for it and never could find it again.
Well, I don't know why I did, but I screen recorded it. And I didn't even realize I had even posted it in my community. Heck, I posted it in my community a while back. It wasn't something I just posted in the last day. It was on there.
Yeah,
so I
remember.
did it the night they did it. But you and me both have really had a hard time with these crime scene photos that they said they had.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever they seen, or he was saying he was there making video, you know. I mean, I doubt he was doing anything more than driving down the road. They wasn't going to let him out and be in the taped off area or anything.
Right. And Rick, you know, I had Rick listen to it, and he said, they're lying. They didn't see no photos. And I said, I don't know. I don't look at Norm or Derek to lie about something like that. Why would they lie about it? I don't think they lied about it. I think they saw something. I think somebody shared something, but who shared it?
Let's put it this way. If they did lie about it, they're definitely seeking attention. And that, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't say put that out of his realm, but
I don't know him to say yes or no. I
shouldn't judge that. I'm just looking at the other things, because what his production, his career is basically based off trying to get somebody else that releases information's career took off. You know, that's why he stepped back, because he wasn't personable enough to keep him around. So that other lady that he has work with him, she does real good, and so the other one. I was hoping. Well, in fact, I did hear some details on that particular re-encounterment of the testimony.
Yeah, that was Hope, and I don't remember the other girl's name. It wasn't Baby J, though. It was not Baby J.
No.
It was the other girl. They do that 7-day circle together.
Yeah, and it's really informative. I actually watch that show quite often. It's always looking for missing Kansas people and stuff like that. And I say it's a very good show.
This is an interesting comment. If I was a betting person, I'd say KM had a hand in sharing these photos. Very well could be.
Let's put it this way: he has a hand in everything else, and we had proof that he was at the site the day that the car was recovered. We know that it was on the bond or on the evidence receipt. Remember that?
Right. Yeah, I do remember.
He would have been one of the first ones that had the access to it. If there was something sneakily taken on his photo and he didn't share it with the other, you know, that would have been the exact reason or way that got out. You know,
right.
So many
the other girl's name was May, so it's open May. But let's go with this. JD, I don't know that I've seen you in here before. Welcome. JD says, I remember photos of the area and the blood.
Really? Well, share those with us, JD, because we like to go back to that. I've seen photos of kitty litter and shovel marks. That's the only thing I've seen from the area. And definitely, like you were saying about being truck ruts through the ditch, Well, that cattle trailer just backing up to load the body would have, I don't remember if it was wet at that time or not. I thought it was pretty dry around then, wasn't it?
Actually, I think they had a lot of rain, like I said, because I turned
Okay.
down on the side where them poles were, and I barely made it down that little side road. There was a lot of
Okay.
really deep indentions in there. And for you to see a smile, she is correct. As soon as I got there that night, even though it was 11 o'clock at night, I went where
Yes.
the car was and I went over the puddles that was there that had, I thought, kitty litter on them. And then I
Right.
also showed you guys where they had shoveled off the side of the road there. It looked like they took some stuff from the side of the road. There were some holes that looked like they just scooped down with a shovel and
Well, let's put it this way. That matches
putting
up then
evidence up.
with Vern's statement that it was running down into it. That may have been the shovel that was taken out down in the ditch.
Okay, where did I? Gosh, for you to see a smile. Okay, you always had the really good information. I personally, out of all of them that I watched, I never heard them say, and I probably missed it, honestly. Cora said she had a shovel and threw dirt on the blood.
Yes, I did it in the first day testimony.
Wow.
I
See,
heard
missed
that
again 'cause I'm
statement.
already stuck with the floor dry stuff that she put on there. That really wasn't kitty litter. It's that floor dry stuff from O'Reilly's.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm
It's
not
just
a
more expensive.
mechanic. I don't know exactly what it's called, so I'm gonna say floor dry or oil cover up, whatever.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And Ricochet says, "Yeah, we finally solved the mystery of the shovel marks." Yeah, because I said it looked like a shovel.
Yeah. And if it wasn't them, it would have been the cops that would have been shoveling it. I would have thought,
Right.
because they should have been there quite a while cleaning up the scene and working it. I would have thought that would have been a several-hour process before they ever moved the car.
Thank you, JD. JD said, "I watch a lot, never speak hardly. I used to watch you every day for the first 2 months." Listen, you guys probably remember a lot more than I did. I was getting 3-4 hours of sleep. Some of the stuff I went back and rewatched, and I've really tried to do my best on this case and make sure that we have all the right answers. So, I mean, I will tell you, I've tried my best.
Yeah, you definitely have. And I can guarantee you that just like that, whatever his name is, Derek, and was saying in the thing, you definitely are the reason that they got anything solved down there, because they would have watched this. There's no doubt about it. And they may work crime scenes like an hour or two, but if they wasn't at that crime scene for several hours afterwards, I'd be shocked.
Right. Well, I'm
I mean,
just wondering if you're going to collect money for the Summer Slam that me and Derek's going to do.
Kind of collect money. Yeah, I'm gonna start a wagering board, I guess.
Yeah.
It's definitely,
Yeah, because we're doing the Summer Slam, remember?
Oh, I know. Believe me, that cracked me up. I wanted to go in there and go, you can't claim Hulk Hogan because you're more maybe Rowdy Roddy Piper or something.
Yeah. Well, Hope named me Randy Savage. I feel privileged, but
yeah, no, that's exactly. I was just laughing at it. It's like, he made a good joke out of it.
he did. I played it for my husband. He goes, "Oh my God, he does know you," because I am that person that will sit and play him out.
Yeah,
I am that person. So
yeah, I can testify to that myself.
you're very welcome.
So you're definitely convicted on that charge.
Yes, yeah, I'm guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Yes, and then some. But he does crack me up.
Yeah, well, he obviously it's fun to him, and I don't take it personal either. I do fire back because that's the type of person I am. I will stand my ground. I don't care who the hell you are. But he enjoys bickering back and forth with me. He said, "I'm a child. I've called her names. I'm a child." And my husband started laughing.
I thought it was funny of how he described, though, that you'd pull up in somebody's mother's yard.
Yeah. I sleep
What
a little
word-
safer at night because best believe, if you ever thought about taking somebody out, you think twice. You're not going to do it on Rock Chalk's watch. She'll be out of your mom's house.
Yeah, that was funny. I wonder how we got the mom's house thing going. Of course, it wasn't actually mom's house, but
No, it's
we know
actually Dad's house. But yeah,
exactly. But actually, chances are, I bet you on the title, it probably is her house. More than likely,
JD says you
I
come a
bet it
long
is now.
way. JD says you come a long way from streaming in your car and taking your horses to okay. Listen, I've said this 1,000 times, JD. I am not a YouTube creator, even though I am. This is not something I really want to be. And I just happened to, if you go back and look, I did one other live on the Idaho 4. This happened in Kansas. I'm in Kansas. I went there, went live. I am not a producer. I'm just a girl that went looking for 2 missing ladies and got it all on video. And the only reason I still even have a channel is because of you guys. I feel like we all came together over this, and I don't want to leave anybody hanging. So we're still here going over it. I did not go to any of the hearings or the trial. And one of the reasons is because, the sheriff, Texas County sheriff just don't like me because I point things out and he just don't like it. And the other thing was, that courtroom is really small and I only was in there once. And I've told you guys all along, I will not go back in there. I will stay outside and film for you, but I'm not going back in. But Chris will. Chris will
I like
go.
the small room. Yeah, I'm chomping at the bit to get in there.
I know you are.
So we can get a real recollection of what actually happened instead of everybody partially. This is the biggest campfire story I've ever heard because it's taken so many different people to get certain things out, and we still don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
We should know these answers.
Right.
Or at least they wouldn't be stewing in my head.
Gary Eaton says, I was tickled to hear Derek say you were the reason this got solved. And then Lavender says, I truly believe that if it was not for Rock Chalk, this would have been swept under the rug. That seemed to be what Hope said, that, if it wouldn't have got brought out, it might be swept under the rug. Or you just see Smile. Rock, you took a lot of crap from a lot of people. Yeah, I got thick skin, though. It's okay. And you never backed away, never left us, always doing lives, honest and true, with you all the way. Thank you so much. I like to think I've always been honest with you guys and brought you the best that I could.
And double checked everything twice.
I tried.
That's for sure.
Yeah,
yes, you have.
Tried.
And we commend you for that because you brought this family together. And everybody that's here listening right now, I know that they want the answers to them same questions that have kept me up for I don't know how many nights thinking this. And I'm telling you, if Veronica and Julian weren't my sisters, I adopted them a long time ago or something because I'll be looking for them when I get to heaven.
One joke that I used to say all the time, because I'm a big Seinfeld person, and it was the ugly baby episode. Yeah. I'm that girl. If you got an ugly baby, I am not going to tell you your baby's cute.
I remember that one. That was so funny.
Yeah. I'm not the person that is going to just tell you and sugarcoat things that you guys want to hear. Now, everything's our opinions here, other than the court documents we went over. Is there things that I've said that are going to end up not being true because they were my opinion? Absolutely. I was giving my opinion a lot. That don't mean they were facts. So there's going to be things and that's going to come up. And, if my opinion was wrong, I'll own it. I'm just giving you guys my opinion. So, I'm not right all the time. So these are my opinions. These are Christopher's opinions. And then we have to go to work.
Gut instincts that we dig deeper to find something. And there always seems to be something we can go back to that's going to give us the answers. And if there isn't, hopefully at the end of this, there will be.
Right. Ricochet says, you got it at For You to See a smile. I think it was quite crappy of some people to be smudgely dogging on Rock for stuff they knew that Rock didn't. And like I said, I got thick skin, guys. You don't ever have to worry about that. But one thing you do have to worry about is I don't put up with no shit. I will stand up for myself, and that offends a lot of people. And I'm sorry if it offends you, but I won't sit silent and let people attack me and not fire back. But I
Right.
won't go in their chats and fight with them. But like I'll bring it up on my channel. This is my channel. And when Terry, now he's saying he did it for fun and stuff, but he had my picture and different things, and that wasn't too much fun. But okay, let's do this. This is what you wanted to do. Here we are. And I don't know. You're right. People did give me crap. I pissed a lot of people off. But again, I would do everything the same way I did it. I would still come down there and do things the way I did it. JD, you are correct. You were putting yourself in danger. I was worried for you and told you I'd come up there, especially when the black car was following you. Absolutely. I do have to apologize. I've said this before. When the gun was pulled on me, it didn't bother me. But what bothered me here just recently, going over it, if you remember, is the fact that if I would have got shot and killed, you all would have seen it live, and I guess I should have been different. I should have been different. I should not have got out of the car that day. I don't know. But anyway, I can't go back on the past and change things. So
You definitely needed a choke chain at that time to snatch you back, because you were headed out to solve something or get that tag number. And
I wanted to get that damn tag. I didn't know who she was. I wanted to get that damn tag.
I remember it like it was yesterday. It was funny.
I was
like, whoa. I could say there's been so many incidents that were, and it was, what was so, we say sporadic on yours was we never knew when you were going live at the first at all. So I would check my phone. It was like every hour or 2 hours. If I went 30 minutes, I felt like I'd missed a chance, or then I'd get mad at myself when I come in. You'd be 30 minutes or an hour into it.
Yeah, like, what? I feel like I would have to go back and look. I will tell you, I got 3 to 4 hours sleep a night, if I even got that. And, I said 13, 14 days. I was wrong. I literally sat down, figured it out. It was 10 days. But let me tell you, in them 10 days, I talked to Rick 2 times. And I was there for 4 days before I talked to him 1 time. And my old mods was on Discord, and they wanted to talk to Rick, and they were asking questions. Said, well, what'd you think? He goes, well, I couldn't have stopped her anyway. And I said, well, what did you think of her not calling? And he goes, if there's one thing about my wife that I do know, is when she gets her mind set to something, that's what it's focused on. And you're not getting her off of that. So, yeah, I was pissed off because she didn't call me, but I also know her. And
got one choice. Join the band and help her answer that question, or sit back and try to keep up with her.
and my first mods, and 2 of them, I'm still friends with. As a matter of fact, they come in here, and they said, well, they were complaining. Some of the people were complaining because why would I help Wrangler? The other one was, Rock ain't talking to us. Rock's busy doing this, but she ain't even talking to us. Well, for one, we were on a live. You guys could have talked in the live anytime, because I know you're watching now. I never pushed you away, but I didn't even talk to my own husband. Okay. The time I spent in the hotel, I was sleeping. And otherwise, I was out busy talking to people, doing things. I didn't have time for Discord, and I'm sorry. But I was trying to find 2 women alive. Let's just get to the point. And every minute was important to me, in my heart. So did I have time to visit with my husband for 10, 15 minutes even? No, I didn't. So I'll apologize for it, but I would do it the same way again. So I'm just going to say that. Anyway, Jane says, just popping in before getting her boy and his little family from the airport wanted to wish Rock and your family and all Rockies a very happy Christmas. You have a good Christmas over there in the UK, Jane. We'll be live. You can enjoy your family. Anyway, Christopher, you can talk.
Well, I
didn't even get up.
No, I wasn't. I was sitting here thinking, I know where you're at on that one. This is a hard day. Tomorrow's my mom's birthday. And I was like, man, I hate holidays. Like, My son's birthday is 23rd, all this week, and my cousin's 24th. My grandma's was 20. It's like, I hate Christmas. This week needs to go right on by. Please.
My dad worked on Christmas Eve. He got off work. He got a headache. Christmas Eve, we took him to the hospital, and he never came out. Cancer had already moved from his chest to his head. Worked at Beech Aircraft over 45 years. Never missed a day. And he died on January 6th. We never opened our Christmas presents. I don't celebrate Christmas. I don't put trees up. I buy Christmas presents for my kids and my grandkids. We didn't open our Christmas presents until July of that year. And Christmas is a really hard time for me. My husband will tell you, I usually leave. I go out of town usually for Christmas. I might go to Colorado for 2 weeks. Usually I'm not home at Christmas. That's a hard time for me too. So I can't even imagine these first Christmases with everybody, including Carrie losing her daughter. I mean, anybody that lost somebody, the holidays are hell. They're hell.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you, it's been over 25 years and it hasn't got any better with my dad either. And then his birthday is the 30th of January. And then January 6th. So, I've got some rough times coming up too that I'm going to be honest with you. And my husband, I could call him right in here right now and he'll tell you, I cry them days. And sometimes you just need to do a good cry. And he don't bother me. And I pretty much, and I'm to myself. If I'm home, I'm to myself and I spend my time on them days in my room and I really don't speak to anybody. So.
Right.
So I don't really know how the family feels, but I know how I feel. So they've got to feel real bad. And that's heartbreaking. And here you're telling me, you've got a lot. I'm sure people in the chat too. You got people that
this is the time of year that we need to. In fact, I'm going to take time right now. Father God, I'm going to ask that you step in with every member of this Rock family and give them some comfort this year. We're just asking for that little reassurance and touch us on the shoulder so that we know that you're there with us. We know you are, but we just need that reassurance and we say a little reminder that you really are there and the things that happen aren't for the bad, but to strengthen us and make us better and give us a purpose in life. We thank you, Father God, for everything that you do, everything that you provide, and most importantly, everything you're going to continue to do for us. We thank you before you do it, Father God. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Christopher.
Yes, this is going to be a rough this year. Definitely, and it's really been 3 years. It used to be my third Christmas without my mom, but my 30th one without my dad. So,
I'm going to take that a little further too. Listen, there's been a lot of trying times for a lot of people, and I've told you guys there's been two of my daughter's friends, and my daughter's only 35, and they went through divorces and took the chicken shit way out. But anyway, there might be people out there that has went through a separation and going to be missing what was their significant other at one time too. There's a lot that comes into the holidays. It's not just death. It's, the companionship, all kinds of stuff. So,
even if it's just missing your grandma's hot chocolate, that's enough to make you sad if that was the thing that you look forward to, There's nothing, you can't take away those memories. I did notice that it looked like there was a real young one over in Ellenwood that just lost his life. I got to do some checking on it. I'm thinking the fentanyl crisis is coming back in our county again.
Right. So JD says I was close. I only lived 2 hours from there. Listen, I didn't realize how many people was headed to me when the gun was pulled on me. There was a lot of people headed to me when that gun was. I had no idea. I also didn't know you guys couldn't see what was going on because the camera went blank. Because we were struggling. So it took a minute for me to gather myself and get my camera back up and going. So you guys had no clue really what went on. For you to see a smile, I knew something was wrong when you weren't covering court that day. When they put that VPN on your phone, I was ready to go to Guyman to find you. Yeah. Been some crazy things happen, that's for sure.
That area has been forever changed on, I believe, every crime. I think what it is a wake-up call. And I bet there's a lot more cameras getting installed in that county. But that's a hot item. Very hot item. These security cameras are needed. We got to be able to solve things.
Right. I don't, I don't even know how to take Derek, honestly. Girly Girl says he's full of shit. He was being serious when he was dogging on Rock, regardless of what he says now. Yeah, I don't really know. He put my picture up, put my name up, but it is what it is. But listen. I can handle it. I stand strong. Your girl is not weak. You know that. So.
If you start wearing pink glasses, I'm gonna worry about you.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
definitely
Girly Girl says, shit, Rock didn't even speak to me. So what are they griping about exactly? I didn't even speak to Girly Girl. And that's
right.
one of my very best friends right there in real life.
Right. That's it's amazing. That
I didn't know how to work YouTube back then, and JD, I haven't made much progress. I'll be honest with you. Okay? I'm just going to be honest. I do enough to be able to get this out to you guys. I do not know how to cut, edit, any of that, and I don't want to learn. Okay? I don't want to learn. I don't want all the bells and whistles. Okay? I'm old. I like being retired, but I do continue to do this channel for all of us. And the day that you're not here, I won't be here either. But as long as you guys keep wanting to hear about it, we're going to be here as a family. That's how I feel. So.
For sure. Yeah, my dog says there's been too many sleepless nights. Dad's sitting there looking at something. Says he's always looking at something on that phone.
And I'll also tell you, so many people in that area that has come up to me, whether it be Elkhart, Guyman, Boise City, okay, or Keys, their family member, they knew it was a homicide, but it was charged as a suicide. There's been people disappear, and their family members never found out where they're at. So with that said, I'm gonna go with Derek on that, and Hope's been there all of her life. That bringing this up and pissing people off, I did piss people off. But who got News Nation there?
Yep.
I'm just saying. So I would, like I said, if you had me to start all over again, even though I pissed people off, I'd do it exactly the same way I did it now. I've learned from my mistakes. I've tried to do better. I've tried to be a better person. I've tried not to snap on stupid shit in the chat. I've come a long way.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
Anyway, well, basically, I know it's Friday night, and I listen, if you go back to them lives, I was live probably 10, 12 hours a day when I first got down there. I was always live for you guys, even if somebody pulled up to talk to me, because I never wanted to get the locals on camera. Even if you guys had to sit and look at the front of the school with the tumbleweeds there while I got out to meet whoever pulled behind me and wanted to talk to me, that happened a lot. And so some of the lives was extremely long. They were really long.
Yeah.
So.
She's on it.
Yeah.
Dog's on play. She's on play mode.
Oh, your puppy?
Oh man, she's on chew mode now like no other.
I try to do a good job. Like I said, I'm just a girl who went looking for 2 missing women. And I did a case before. I did Letitia Stout's case looking for Gannon Stout in Colorado Springs. But this one, there's been no other case like this one. The Colorado Springs one, I was there to help. Well, lost Christopher. I was there to help. And they had a command center. And they had officers, and they had LE directing people and telling them what to do. And was boots on the ground there. The difference was I came here thinking that I was coming to help. And in my opinion, I felt like I was the only. Oh, go ahead and turn your camera off there, Christopher.
Wants to be on TV.
Oh, if you listen, if you want to show yourself, that's a different story. You can show your dog. I just wanted you to know.
She wanted to play.
Oh, yeah, look at the puppy.
Yeah, I want to play. It's nothing but wrestle time.
Oh.
That's her wrestle mode.
I'm telling you, that's Bianca sent me a bunch of what are these avatars a month ago, I think, and I'm just now figuring out how to download them again to my computer. So she sent me a bunch. This is a new one, and she put Smith and Wesson on the German Shepherd. So JD says, and you were respectful. Some didn't want to be on a live. Yeah, I was not trying to get anybody on a live. Plus, don't think for a minute that when I got there, Rock realized the dangers. I really did realize the dangers, but I didn't care. I really didn't care.
Right.
Today I said, you got a colt, you need to get the ATF. I did realize the dangers, okay, but that wasn't going to stop me. So, yeah, I didn't need KM helping me. You are correct. Yeah, I went through some shit, and I'm sure I'm not done going through some shit, but it's okay. It is okay. Did anybody in chat have any other questions of maybe what's been going on? Anything else to discuss? Another stream? I did share Lauren's stream. Her and I'll go get it again for you too. Her and that attorney guy went over this case today, and I thought they did actually a really good job. I liked hearing the attorney's side of things, breaking it down. So let's see here. I'll go back and find it so I can share it again. It's Pop TV Crime. I'm going to show you guys, and then I'll share it. Anyway, do go check this out. I could do a reaction video, but she took her time to come from New York, go sit in that courtroom. She deserves the views for you to go to her channel and watch it. But they did
I'll definitely be a regular over there.
Yeah, it is a different angle, and I like it. I like it. I thought they did an awesome job. And I'm not an attorney, so having an attorney there to break it down really helped me. I enjoyed watching the attorney break stuff down. So. Yeah, the Roger Lupsky case, that was the homicide detective out of Kansas that did all the bad things to the African Americans there in Kansas City. And then the day his trial started, he took the easy way out and shot himself in the head. That sucks. We don't know if Cole Clark, if he did do a plea, but it's written just on the side on his paperwork. So we don't know. We got to wait and see. Listen, it would take it would take me all day to give you a breakdown as of today. As of today, this is what I can tell you. One of the guys, Paul Grice, he has made a plea deal with the state to turn state evidence, and the deal was he wouldn't get the death penalty, is what we're understanding. Cora also has turned state evidence. Her plea deal, it's going to put her about 40 years in the penitentiary, and also her testimony is taking the place of CW's testimony. That's in her plea deal, from what we understand. Tiffany Adams' granny waived her right to a preliminary hearing and speedy trial on the very first day. yesterday. Was it yesterday? Gosh, I don't even remember now. The next day, Cole waived his right to a speedy trial and preliminary. So the last man standing, as far as right now, that is going to court is Tad. So, some have said that Tiffany's made a plea deal. I don't think so. I think her defense attorney's trying to get their case in order and see what else goes down. But I'm not an attorney, but that's what it looks like to me. And that's the best I can catch you up on. The rest, I'd say, might have to go watch the video. I just shared Lauren's channel, which I got on my screen right now. She was there in the court, and she goes into detail of most of what was done in the courtroom. So there is some things I know was left out, and they did it for family reasons, but there was some things said in the courtroom that has not been reported on. Christopher, did you mute?
I did. My dog was playing rough.
There you go.
She was attacking my hand. So she got me. She gets to playing so rough, but every once in a while she snags me with one of her teeth. Of course, I can't say, just like my hat, I can't say I didn't ask for it. So,
okay, the next court date is going to be February 13th, and that is for that's Tad, right? February 13th.
Basically, I would say what that is his chance to plead, because he hasn't pled yet. They just stopped it right there where they got enough to proceed with charges. Now you enter your plea. He's the last one to
right.
Not
and
enter.
Granny's is it Granny's that's April 16th?
I think so.
I think it's
Yes,
Granny's.
I believe that's what I heard.
And then Paul and Cora's got the same date. And listen, I'm not the elephant. I don't remember the date.
It was in February, I think. If I remember right, that was a February date. But
Well, I
don't
know
remember.
Paul and Cora's got the same date. So
Yeah. It was either February or 1st of March, one or the other.
and to be honest with you, I don't want to try to go dig it up, Gary.
No.
So if anybody in chat remembers the dates of who's going to court, could you share with Gary, please? Eagle Stars and Stripes says, I cannot imagine Granny would plea unless Dad does too. I don't see her pleading either. So
Honestly, I hope that Tad's holding out is what's going to cost everybody from them not getting their pleas, because they can't prosecute one and not without prosecuting the rest of them.
Right.
You know, they're all going to take their way out. We're going to have 5 people testifying against him, you know, or 4 anyway, I guess it'd be. No, it'd be 5 because CW would still be there too.
Okay, so, look. Okay, so Kelly Foley's helping us out here. Thank you, Kelly. You are appreciated. Yeah, they're going to blame Paul all the way. We know that. So as Tad is January 19th, and then Cora and Paul, theirs is in February.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
what I was saying.
I swear Tiffany's is Granny's is actually one of them's April 16th, like a day before.
Yeah, that was Granny. So
yeah, actually, how ironic is that? The day before that it will be almost a year, because they actually had their first court appearance on April 17th, because that was my birthday and I was having cataract.
Wow.
And I had cataract surgery. I had to come back to Wichita. I had cataract surgery.
Right. Well, I remember that. I didn't. Wow, it's been a solid year.
It will be by the time she goes to court. One day shy of being arrested.
This is pretty fast moving along, because I could see it being a lot slower.
Well, you know, with everybody reporting on it, it's made it a lot. You know, I don't know about you guys, but it's made it go faster for me. Like, it don't seem like it's been so many months, because it's just always something, always reporting something.
Mm-hmm. I believe that they've had 1 year. In fact, it's very obvious that they're still putting police work together, trying to solve this case. Chasing down burner phones yesterday, or that was.
We're still looking for both ladies' phones.
Yeah.
And rumor has it them are buried. Why didn't the DA
get that
set the deal
okay.
as to where Veronica and Jillian's phones are? If that's
Because
the
you know,
case.
if they were buried, that was something to do with Granny and Cora's ride home afterwards.
Mhm.
Because that would have been the only chance they'd had to get rid of them, and that would have been it had to be what both of them did when they left there.
So Kelly says Paul is February 13th, Cora is February 19th, Tiffany is April 16th, and Cole is May 7th.
Okay.
And then, of course, Tad has one coming up in January.
Yeah. He's got a plea,
but I think that'll get continued, honestly.
yeah.
That's probably when his attorney will drop the say they'll waive the speedy trial. Because right now the only trial that has to get done quickly is Tad's.
Yes.
The other two, unfortunately, can go on, or the rest of them can go on for a while. And Tad's will probably go on for a while, unless they all do plea deals. And I don't know. I'm with Lauren on that. You know, I think they all got sweet deals, and I think I don't know. I don't think they'll ever get out. But what if they do live to be 100 and do get out?
I'd like to say that I don't think they'll get out, but I think he would qualify a short life.
No, the only one that's fairly young is Paul, and he's not ever getting out.
He's going to get hammered with every charge and then some. I bet they add to his charges.
And he said that he went home and told his wife the day of the murders what he did. Mm-hmm. And he didn't, and the DA asked him if he made, it was Tad's attorney, I think, because I wasn't there. I think it was Tad's attorney that said, hey, so in your plea deal, did you plead to save your wife too? And he said, no, I only plead to not get the death penalty. And then you said it the best. Remember what he said about his skin? I can't remember the exact quote.
Yeah, it wasn't worth saving. Yeah, it was something about it wasn't worth saving his skin, because that was a quote that supposedly he made on the stand, because somebody accused him of trying to save his skin, and he said it ain't worth saving.
So Carrie says, me thinks someone other than the 5 has a reason for the lady's phones to not be found. It's very possible.
Just don't know which one. We do. We know that if they left from there, which I'm pretty sure, which I guess now
they know where they got shut off at by the beams. They know exactly where they got shut off at.
Right. So that all that information should have been easily tracked right away. And you're right, they put it all together, but if they knew it was them, they should have went right to them phones.
Yeah, 14 days, but you knew the day of, and everybody knew the day of. Then you got the farmer that went to OSBI 6 days in and telling everything he knew. Hell, he even warned Beasley.
Yeah. Yeah, they obviously, it's a very close community, and they must all talk, or there was sure a lot more people that knew about it.
I will say this, if you're from that area, that you could very well go up missing anytime. So with that said, I could see where people didn't come forward, but my moral compass would have made me come forward anyway. But I'm different. I get it. But to talk amongst each other, one night, I had several getting a hold of me, and I said, listen, you're telling me this, and you know this guy. Let's all just get together. And we met in a garage, and I just let them go back and forth, and we was piecing things together instead of me listening to this guy and then listening to this guy and then listening to this guy. I said, hey, can we just all get together? And we did. And that's how we got some of the information we got.
Wow.
Everybody piecing the stories they heard together.
Then you needed that farmer and that helicopter, and you could have had it solved.
Well, yeah,
But he was scared of heights, so you have to stay kind of low.
But he wanted to, I'm gonna call bullshit on that too, because he came. I'd went to Guyman and he came and got Sarah and Joe and had them go way out of the area, supposedly to look for maybe a grave. And we were headed south. We were almost to Beasley's. We were headed that way when he took them somewhere else. So
Mm,
I still believe he knew what he was doing when he took them that day.
decoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just trying everybody
Wanted
to get out of the area.
Yeah.
Because he knew it was about to. There was way more of them involved. Just like Beasley claiming that, chances are they probably laid out the exact plot what they were going to do when they went and asking for permission.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well,
You know,
I mean, wasn't it just a few days before that they told
it was-
asked Beasley if they could do them trees and that concrete?
Mhm. Yep, supposedly.
Yeah. So Kelly says Cora should know where the phones are. She was instructed by Tiffany to wrap them in foil and place them in the ammo box.
Yep.
Well, the
She
phone,
should know.
the phones.
Supposedly, though, she gave them the identity or the location of the different phones, is what I was told, or what I've been hearing. The ones that she gave were actually the burner phones and not the girls's, which she admitted that that was her first thing, was to go to the car and get them. Like I said, they had this mapped out pretty good. They just weren't very thinking about actually what the evidence or the information that they let out. If they'd been smart, the first thing they'd done was move that car. Why would you lead them to the first site to find puddles?
Mm-hmm. So Scout says, I don't understand all these plea deals. It seems like there is no justice. Scout, a lot of times the DA in a lot of cases will do plea deals to keep the family from having to go through the trial. But it does seem like these plea deals are a sweet deal for these people. But again, I don't think any of them's gonna get out. And in my opinion, lots of shady things going on is what Lavender said. Well, honestly, it's been going on in that area for a while. I had a lot of people tell me their stories. So that's an area that I met really good people. Not gonna lie, I met people that I still talk to today that I love dearly. But I'm not trying to live in that area, I'll tell you that.
No. That's why Kansas had to give that away, or whoever it was, Oklahoma had to give it away.
Actually,
Had to give that land to people.
Texas gave it away, and Oklahoma ended up claiming it. But yeah,
But then Oklahoma gave it all away because they couldn't get anybody that not voluntarily move there.
Mm-hmm. Carrie Eaton says it's just a deep feeling that the police look the other way also, which begs the question, who holds the power? Listen, I've been saying that from day one, honey. They give the sheriff way too much power. They got body cams. They don't wear them. There's just a lot going on. Why don't they wear the body cams? I don't get it.
See, that's the actual law that's nationwide, and every sheriff in the U.S. is supposed to make a report of every death and then rule if it's a homicide or not. It's their jurisdiction. Now, a lot of cities, they do it, let the police handle the small part, and then the sheriff steps in if they got questions. So they've delegated the responsibilities down, but that report of sheriff actually being responsible for every death. I mean, it doesn't matter how you're found dead, the report has to be categorized before that they move on from it. And so the sheriff has the first option to cover everything up.
Right. And Christopher, do you know whose phones were the first two phones they found that was smashed, that was turned over? Are you talking, Lavender, are you talking about the ones she took to get fixed at the little computer shop? Is that the ones you're talking about? Because we did see pictures of them.
Mm-hmm.
They were in the property when they were.
There was supposedly a phone or two found in the gravesite, I thought.
Yeah, and they were burner phones.
Yeah.
Yes. You're not gonna convince me that Tiffany went and paid a lot of money for iPhones to be burner phones to be thrown in a grave. She bought the cheapest phone she could, guaranteed. They were going to be burners, and they were going to be used one time and one time only.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what I think.
sounds like they had several months worth of use on them. Started using them early, and as soon as they were done with them, but yeah, they weren't iPhones. They were just regular Jeepies.
Yeah, Eagles, Stars and Stripes. I've complained about this a lot. I watched they are handcuffed in the front, and I noticed the last hearing they listened to me because they walked opposite so that their gun wasn't directly on the inside where the accused is. But if you go look at this last video, on what little bit of video they did outside, they're back to their gun is right next to on the inside where you got an officer on each side, and then you got the accused in the middle, and their gun is on the inside where literally somebody could reach and grab it if they wanted to. I mean, I don't want to give any ideas, but it's just horrible. Handcuffing in the front is a bad idea. We lost a deputy and another court employee due to a perp being handcuffed that way. He got one of their guns and killed them both. Yeah, that happens a lot, but you can't tell that sheriff. You can't tell that sheriff in Texas County anything because he's not gonna listen. So,
well, they actually changed the law because it was supposedly inhumane to make you try to walk with your hands behind your back. Supposedly, your natural balance is not.
Well, do y'all remember? You remember the day it flooded and it rained? They didn't even have shackles on.
Exactly. Yeah, they didn't want them to fall down.
And that live that Derek did outside the first day, him and Hope, and it was so cold. How many trains went by? A lot.
No.
It's crazy, but it is what it is. And a hand on the back like they are just walking like friends. Just crazy. What did police on the cuff Bill say? Looked like they were taking the accused to a picnic. It looked like court. I thought they were going to a picnic.
I haven't noticed him having any updates or anything on this yet. I have to watch out for that one.
Yeah. Scout says, Rock, I believe this to the end. I think TA thought she was above the law and untouchable. It's unbelievable. And I believe she thought it was going to be unreportable, and it was going to get shoved under a rug because there's many things in that area that does happen with. So, and I can tell you, I know because the relatives talk to me, not of these women, of other people that has lost people in that area came and talked to me. So it does happen there.
That's why a cop who was indicted can go down there and get a job because that's the requirements for that job area.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
OJD says Melanie will be doing an update soon. Yeah, I haven't talked to her in a while. Like I've talked to her a couple times on the phone, and she's been on that Karen Reed case really heavy. And honestly, this case is if they do end up going to trial, the SA allegations, sustained, not allegations, probably will get brought up in detail. We'll see. We'll see.
I don't know about detail, but they just had to mention him.
Yeah, but on April 17th, Tiffany's attorney went live with Cuomo. I didn't want to call him the name that my husband calls him because I might have offended somebody. I had to think about that for a minute. If you can just think about it, he don't call him Cuomo. He calls him something else. He don't like him. But anyway, her previous attorney said there is that document. He knows it's on the prosecutor's desk, and he knows that the defense attorneys have it, and he's read it, so it does exist. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, that just depends on if they were trying to find a motive or a reason for why they did it. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're past that point now.
Carrie Eaton says, is it possible Granny was encouraged by others that have gotten away with things?
Oh, yeah.
Or she herself had in the past. Listen, in Johnson City, Kansas, there was a guy He got divorced and they had a kid, and his ex-wife married a guy in town that his family owned the hardware store. They pretty much ran everything. And anyway, the father disappeared on his way home from work and has never, ever been found. There's been 2 hung juries on that case, and they say he's been dropped in a well somewhere. And that's why with this case, people were talking about the women being in a well. That's why you seen me when I was boots on the ground going into storm cellars that was abandoned out there, going into the wells that was abandoned out there, was because of what has happened in the past. So JD says, I've been heavy in Karen's case for over a year. Well, Melanie covers it really good. Really good. I think Karen Reed was set up too. I think there's bad LE there too. JD says yes, she was set up, framed. Yes, I agree. I think Karen Reed was framed on what I've watched of it. Scout says money talks in small towns, just like Johnson City. Absolutely. Absolutely. But you know, COVID's did a lot of horrible things, okay? But one thing that did happen is we all found YouTube, most of us, you know, and man, YouTube really blew up because of COVID, I think. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, because everybody got time off to use it.
Mm-hmm.
And wasn't getting in trouble at work for being on their phone.
Well, and to be honest, many of them found that that's a way to make money. And this is what they do for a living. Our boy, JD DeLay, that's how he makes his money. He's got over 1 million subscribers. Hell, maybe 2 million. The one that make pedophiles afraid again.
Yeah, I didn't know he had that many subscribers.
I'll look it up. Several million. I enjoy watching him. And listen, I enjoy watching him.
Yeah, he said the other day he got himself in trouble because he thought he recognized the Hawk Tour girl and went up to her and asked her, and he says it wasn't her. It caused all kinds of problems.
Right. But JD DeLay, what he does do is he goes after pedophiles.
Yeah.
And anyway, and he talks about it. And he's got quite the following. I'll pull it up so I can show you. But I know Christopher watches him. I watch him. He yells a lot, but that's just the way he is. That's
yeah, that Motor City Justice here is a local group that goes after predators on the internet, and they just actually arrested a guy here at 24th and Washington. We have a Presto there. Watched it, and they arrested him there. Like I say, that type of activity, I like that type of actions because that's the most disappointing part of our judicial system.
Right.
Thinking that they get what they deserve. They don't get what they deserve.
JD DeLay has 1.31 million followers, and his about says from career criminal to recovery coach. Straight talk about addiction, incarceration, crime, recovery, and redemption. Well, I'm just going to tell you, he talks more about pedophiles and making them pay.
Yep.
He can't say it on YouTube. This is his closing line. I don't know if you guys can see it. Hopefully it went to it. Nope, it didn't. Hold on. YouTube will not allow him to share his closing line. But it says
Really?
Christopher likes his closing line. And
he comes up with some good ones. Like say the one the other day I fell in love with was something about I'd be smiling in court after you hurt one of my kids, you know.
Right.
I don't remember exact wording, but it was really catchy, you know. I was like, yeah, I like that one. Because I'd be standing there smiling if I'm in there because I did something to you for that reason.
Right. Is this showing it? Yeah, it is. Okay, so he's got clothing line. And like this one says, touch my kids, I'll be smiling in the courtroom.
Yeah, that's it. That's his new one. That's the one he just released. And I was like, yeah, I like that one.
And then he's got deny, defend, depose. No, that one guy from Alaska, the adventurer, he went around kids that was being sexually abused because he was sexually abused as a child. He went around and broke their doors down and beat the hell out of the people with
did
hammers.
He get rearrested or something over it?
Yeah, he never killed anybody. but he did beat the shit out of him with a hammer. Well,
Right,
anyway,
but-
he went to prison, got out, and started a YouTube channel of his own with JD's help. And because he made a shirt with a hammer on it that was making money off his crime, and they rearrested him. But it sounded like to me he's going to get out Monday. If they come up
Really?
with enough money to get him an apartment in Alaska, he'll get out Monday.
Right.
But anyway, I like JD. I like his shirts. Quit snitching, punk.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway. Interesting. So there's plenty of things you can find on YouTube to look at. That's for sure.
Yeah. I'm interested into the, what I say, the history on the judge down there now. The judge and the sheriff that killed him. They're digging that lady's, that hillbilly crime. She's gotten him pretty deep.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
pretty fun. Yeah, she,
Yeah.
like I say, the judge's old college roommate was charged for sexual charges, and yeah, they. Well, it sounds like that's been going on for quite a while, which makes you think and question. The sheriff was there for so long already. How much did he know before he was a sheriff?
Well, let's say this. You're talking about the sheriff that shot the judge in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
his daughter
Mullins.
worked for the judge. But
Right.
also we're finding out it was a brothel and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's been going on for quite a while. So, you know,
Yep,
like I say,
CW said that about the well too. She also thought that Veronica and Jillian was in a well.
yes. Yeah, because that was her thing. And she said, no, some plans went different. Something like that was mentioned or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I say, she included her. That was the best thing Cora did, because she definitely implicated her daughter on several factors, you know. It's like she was a minor, though. You can't hold a minor for it, but that adult is definitely responsible.
Mm-hmm.
Forget charging her as an adult. Charge that Cora should have child neglect or some type of child endangerment charges. And man, her list should go on. And it shouldn't be I don't care if she got another 10 years on something else. I could think of 20 or 30 more years that ought to be added on more charges she should get.
Right.
And if they didn't know all the evidence, how could they say this case is closed? Which is what I'm praying that new judge will step in and go, we weren't even done charging these people. How could we make a plea deal before we even were finalized on charges? Because it's still an open case.
So Deb C says, when CW said about the well, how many wondered that they did this before? I absolutely did. I think they have did it before. If you guys go back and look to the very beginning, or even when we went and looked at property, there's a lot of houses that's about to fall over, but they're still standing. The one was leaned all the way to the side, but we went through it anyway. There's still wells out there. There's storm cellars, cement storm cellars underground, and nobody lives there. I mean, it's ran down. You got cars ran down. Like I've never seen anything like it, even here in rural Kansas. But in Oklahoma, remember all the junk? I'm just going to call it junk. You know, I don't know why people hasn't knocked down most of the structures that is up there that hasn't been touched probably since the dust storm, right? I don't know. The great dust storm was in that area, right, Christopher?
Yeah. Yeah, there's stuff that's standing that shouldn't be. Obviously, they aren't as taxed as like Kansas. In Kansas, if you got an outhouse standing on your property, they're trying to charge you taxes for it. And
Yeah,
you know you
so
ain't used it in
tax-
50 years. Well, we got to get rid of it, because if not, that tax guy's, they're putting something on for it.
Well, I don't, makes you wonder, is CW testifying would bring up other crimes? Well, maybe that's why Cora is trying so hard, you know, why she did the plea deal, so CW wouldn't have to testify. Just saying.
Yeah, well, they need to get a lot of them. And hopefully they're all, like I say, Paul, not including his wife, really does surprise me too. Because, you know, I'm not going to say that but it would have been afterwards, or now I guess it would actually be confession that she would have to report. But with her being wife and husband, there's the law there that would protect that. But and how the thing is he went home and did that. How fast did these cops actually talk to him the first time? Because if her name was given by CW right away, you would think that within the first week he was already talked to.
Oh yeah, because I want to say it was that
Like less than 5 days.
When she went to school, and her brother went and picked her up and took her to her dad's, and they had called police. But at the same time, remember Cole and Cora was headed to try to go get her and had guns, and they met with OSBI or troopers there. I just remember that going on at the very beginning.
Right.
In the first week, CW
Right.
went to law enforcement. I don't know the exact day, but in that first week, she went to law enforcement. As a matter of fact, me and Carrie were told that they had somebody that they had protection over. The judge was protected, and so was a babysitter that supposedly was German, about 16 years old. That's what I remember originally hearing.
Right.
So whether that's what she told the LE, because the LE was being hush, hush, hush. Like they wasn't doing any kind of news reports or anything. So absolutely.
Well, they'd shook any of them out of whatever they thought was their comfort zone. They wouldn't have got half this thing. Right now, it's still showing. Now they're shaking them a little further out. And like I said, if they're saying that they literally went and looked for those burner phones yesterday after her testimony, they are still trying to finish the charges on this case. It's not even done investigating.
Right. Somebody said it was April 4th when CW went to talk to them, or they talked to her, or whatever.
5 days after.
And Kelly says, "Is it true they came to the school?" Listen, I really don't know the details of it, and honestly, I don't think it matters a whole lot at this point.
I remember reading somewhere that the dad had brought her in for testimony or to talk to him.
But her brother, the story I heard, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, the brother picked her up from school and took her to her dad's.
Yes, I believe right. And then the dad brought her in to talk to the police.
And sometimes I might get it confused where it was somebody, a local that told me, and it wasn't an official document. So
it was in a document.
Okay, good.
Yes, yeah, I remember that. Now I can't tell you the exact source, but I know it was a document that said that.
I will tell you the key details are definitely implanted in my brain. Some of the little details are not. Christopher, though, is our elephant. He remembers everything.
My problem is I don't the first time. That's why I go back and read and watch everything multiple times. But once it's in there, I don't like to say that. I would love. There's got to be a way to get transcript of the court hearing there.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I didn't call today. Between my daughter and Sarah calling me, and then I had a couple of people knocking on my door, I didn't call. And I think I was still up. Well, I know I was still up at 7:30 this morning when Rick left for work. I had not been to bed. I tried. I took like 5 Benadryl and still didn't fall asleep.
Wow.
I got bad allergies, but Benadryl usually makes me tired. But I thought after 5, I did it a couple hours apart. I said, well, I better not take any Benadryl. I better stop. So I don't even know what time I finally fell asleep. I know at 8:30, my daughter called me from work, and I said, I ain't been to bed all night, and I'm trying to get some sleep. I'll call you after a bit. So I was about 8:30. I was trying to get to sleep. So this bothers me. I know it bothers you. I know it bothers everybody. We just got to keep praying that they get justice, and I hope they get everybody. If the cooks are involved, get them. Anybody that's involved, get them. Nobody should be able to walk away from this that was involved in this.
No. and definitely shouldn't have a chance of getting out.
And they were all part of a group. The cooks watched the kids, Wrangler's kids. So it's interesting. It's interesting. What role did they play? See, if I was the DA, I'd be getting them answers, like, or trying, and he might have tried and he might not have. It seemed like Lauren got a little frustrated, and maybe the other channels too, that was in there, that the DA just wasn't pressuring for more answers.
Well, no, and they really, they were just going to try to hit high points, and probably got a lot deeper than what they wanted to, especially with now possibly Paul being charged with both murders type of thing. They didn't think that was going to come out. Well, now it's come out. and
Right.
people are asking for that to be solved, So
Right.
the answer now they got to dig deep. Like I said, this case is far from done being investigated, let alone solved. Got that many people that had a part in it, and nobody knows exactly what the other one did.
So Eagle Stars and Stripes says, time to take time to break out the strong stuff rock. A shot of NyQuil does the trick for me. Just the thought of NyQuil, I start gagging. Seriously. I must have got it a lot when I was a kid, because we have some, and Rick will use it, but I'm telling you, I go to grab it and I immediately start gagging because I remember how bad it tastes.
Yeah, they don't make that stuff taste good. The old stuff was like licorice. To me, it had that black licorice taste, and that's one candy.
It's worse than that. And listen, I'm one of them people that don't like Pepto-Bismol either, and my husband loves it. He only uses it when he's got tummy ache, but he can just take the bottle and jug it, and I'm going, I don't know how you can do it. And my dad was an Alka-Seltzer guy. Drop the 2 things in the Alka-Seltzer and try to drink that. Yeah, I couldn't do that either. Mm-mm.
The old stuff used to be really potent. Now they've got it all toned down.
Yeah, they have toned them down. They used to have a lot more.
Yeah, that's the old stuff.
Or what in it, but something.
Well, the old, it would bubble up so hard that you about have to power scrub the ring off the inside after you dissolve the tablets.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff would be so hard and crispy in there.
Well, my dad told me when my dad was an alcoholic, it was beer mostly, but when he was in the Vietnam War, he said that they drank cologne, anything that had alcohol in it. Mm-hmm. They would drink it.
Yeah, in jails they were even drinking hand sanitizer.
Oh gosh, they had a good time during COVID, huh?
Oh man, it was everywhere. And oh boy, talk about a recall. They'd find out they brought in a group that, oh man, we got to get that out of there.
The casino here in Mulvane. I like to play blackjack. I haven't been in a long time, but I used to go every night until COVID. And anyway, they had some hand sanitizers that I swear smelled like tequila.
Probably was.
They smelled like tequila. I know what tequila smells like, and that's what my hands smell like. And I got sick on tequila, so I'm not a tequila drinker. So even that smell on my hands about drove me nuts. So I would take my own hand sanitizer, the Bath and Body Works stuff, and use it because their sanitizer smelled like tequila.
Yeah, I used to be that way with Jack Daniels, that sour mash whiskey. Got drunk off that when I was a kid one time. Oh boy, you could never get me to drink sour mash again. I can drink other whiskey, but not that sour mash stuff, boy. It's just got a whole different, smell it, you remember it, taste it.
JD's asking me, what branch was your dad in? My dad and all my uncles, they were all Air Force. All of them.
My dad was Navy.
My ex-father-in-law was Navy. But my father was Air Force.
Yeah, my dad was actually an underwater welder when he was in Navy. And that's what took it. He got respiratory cancer because I guess the equipment they had didn't protect any of that. They had all them divers convinced that it did, and it didn't.
My very good friend Sarah that came down with the horse, her husband is retired Air Force, but he's got another job of 25 years, but he was in Desert Storm. And everybody that he was in with has pretty much died. So there was something in Desert Storm that got him, and they can't figure out exactly what it is. And even he'll shit his pants just out of it. I'm not trying to be gross, but
right. No, I understand.
what's going on with his body, it's not something that he chooses to do. He's a great guy. He's a nice guy. But yeah, something about that Desert Storm, it really messed up the soldiers that went to that. So let's
Yeah,
see.
they use them unclassified weapons type of thing. You know, the things they drop they don't want to tell you about.
It's just nuts. And then I don't know if you watched Duty Ron and them, but from what I heard, you know, the people from 911 is coming up with cancer, and I believe
like no other
cancer too.
Yeah. Oh, they're saying there's all kinds of things coming out of exposure in New York from when that came down. They don't even know what all was exposed.
No, but we opened our borders to let it happen again. So
yeah, exactly. We opened our flight schools again, all that again too. I'm sure.
Yeah. You know, and that's another thing. You know, squeaky wheels does get heard, and I don't care if you're an independent or you're a Republican or Democrat. It is your problem too. The border is all of our problems.
Oh yes.
So I don't look at it politically. I'll be the first to tell you, I've been a registered Democrat all my life because of my grandpa and my family, but I vote who I think it is, and I vote for Trump both times. So
right.
But we got to shut our borders down. You know, I laughed, but not at this situation. But I did laugh when that guy said that Grice came to him to see how to get his family to Mexico. Listen, I go to Tijuana a lot. I haven't here lately, but I've been to Tijuana a lot. And every time I've drove my vehicle, and they haven't stopped me for my passport or even documented that I was there. So for somebody to ask what it takes to get in Mexico, you just drive through. You just drive in.
Yeah.
They do not stop you. They do not ask for your passport. And I even had Kansas tags. And I was scared. I called my husband and said, "Oh my God." I was holding my passport out the window and they were just waving me to go through. They did not want me to stop. So with that said, you can go into Mexico. You just drive across the border. They don't stop you.
Nope.
It's coming back.
3 pounds.
You want to come back, you're going to have a lot of problems.
Well, it doesn't sound like there's much problems now.
No, well, I told you, I went down there, and also I watch a lot of other creators went down there. These people are being brought over from Turkey and everywhere. They've got their passports. They rip it up before they cross the Rio Grande. Or Rio Grande, however anybody says it. They actually have passports to get to Mexico, but they throw them away and get rid of them before they come across because they know that we are going to house them, give them money, and we're not going to count where they go. So
yeah, it's crazy.
Anyway, I don't want to get on that rant because I could go all night about the borders. So
yeah, me too. Well, you'll have me back talking about. I know that's where all the drones are coming from.
Yeah, you've been saying that.
I say I just know the cartel, and there's way more things coming across there than, man, we got to get that shut off. It is for sure. Absolutely. And they come in so many different ways. They say there's like Tijuana, miles and miles of tunnels under that town too.
There is. I want to say this too, and if I offend anybody, I'm going to apologize ahead of time. But honestly, before we start letting these people over the border, we should be taking care of our veterans that's homeless out there on the streets and getting them the correct care that they need to get. And I'm going to tell you right now, I volunteer a lot on Sundays at Church on the Street, and we feed meals, and a lot of them are veterans. They're not just druggies out there that's homeless. They're actually veterans. And that's what's sad to me, that we aren't taking care of our veterans. But we're going to take care of other countries and do other shit for other countries, and we don't even take care of our soldiers. It just drives me crazy.
Right. That's crazy. That's for sure.
Kerry says Trump says in an interview that they know where the drones are coming from. I haven't watched the news lately, so I've been trying to catch up on this, and I haven't watched the news. So
Yeah, honest with you, I think a lot of it is looking for this nuclear weapons that have disappeared.
could
I don't know
be.
why they would have been shipping them in no cargo ship, but
Well, you got that, and then you know that Iran has made threats to Trump. They know that Iran has a boat that they run drones off of.
mhm.
So I don't know. It's all I don't know, and I haven't watched the news lately, so I really don't know to be able to give an opinion.
Well, we're down to what, 2 weeks before Trump
Yeah.
gets to go in there and
I'm
start taking
excited.
over.
The first
Yeah.
day, bam, 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 bam. Yes. So
Well,
Eagle
I know.
Stars and Stripes says, I got a good laugh seeing them lining up to go back into Mexico after Trump won. Yeah. Well, they all need to go back. Anybody that's here illegally needs to go back. Do it right. Come here the right way. Be documented. Come here the right way.
Well, I know this town that I live in is big oil field, and there are oil field companies that have had rigs buried in the yards have them out already getting put back together. So that's about to take off.
JD, I understand that too. JD says, I agree with you, but some don't want the help. My brother lives under a bridge. Well, it's because they're not getting the right help. And that is one thing that Trump tried to do too. He went and updated a lot of VA hospitals, even here. A lot of things changed. He said he was going to do it for the veterans. Well, hopefully he picks that back up again. So,
Yeah.
somebody
Your
says
brother's happy under the
Trump
bridge
can't
is
find vacation.
probably got some mental health that he needs to be dealing with, and that's where you got to address too. Don't have no help at all.
You know, and just because we're just talking and we're all family here, it's just like Penny, the Marine that was on the subway. He was a hero. That guy was threatening to kill the women and the kids. So, and they're trying to call him a murderer. You know, you're going to make we as a whole. If he would have got charged, then that's why people don't get involved. You see somebody
Exactly.
fighting, you're going to turn around and walk away. You see a woman and kid getting attacked. I don't know about Christopher. Well, I do know about Christopher. We're not walking away. So,
No.
you know, I
No,
didn't see him as
next.
being a vigilante or anything else. He was saving people on that subway. He wasn't out looking to kill anybody, but he was trying to restrain the guy. So,
Yep. Yeah, that was like say every one of them laws is. Oh, there's an old boy that teaches class about conceal and carry going across state lines and stuff like that. You know, if you don't know the laws, boy, they get you on the other side. You know, you got to be able to carry. You got to be able to do that anywhere. That's what it's going to take to be safe in America.
Right. Well, I will tell you this: you can take your carry concealed online through Virginia, and if you get a carry concealed through Virginia, it's good in every state. Just
Right.
So, but I don't know. I just know that I miss the days growing up, living in the country, running to the neighbor's house. We used to be peach orchards. They took them out, and that's where our houses was. And you know, didn't have cell phones. When it started to get dark, we had to get home, and you can't even let your kid in your backyard nowadays. So
Yeah,
we gotta watch out for each other. We all got to watch out for each other. At some point,
My grill didn't work.
Rick's grill quit working. Okay.
Oh no, you didn't pick him up no Traeger supplies, did you?
We get to turn on, and it was left on. So then I turned it off and it won't come back on. So I'll have to get out there tomorrow and find out what's going on with it.
It's a button. It's not a turn.
No. Oh, you turn the button off.
Go look. Go look real quick.
Oh, okay.
Look at the button. Go
All
check the button.
I didn't know that. I didn't turn the button. I don't ever turn the button off.
Go see.
All right, good.
That's a brand new grill. That's a brand new
Had
grill.
unauthorized user touched his thing and shut something off that wasn't supposed to.
Yeah. Well, go see real quick. Now you
that's
got me
fine,
wondering.
Because I don't ever turn the button off, so it freaked me out.
I used the grill. I made some cobbler, and
Yeah.
he don't ever turn the button off, and I turned the button off. I think that's why it's not working. I hope
Yeah,
so.
Didn't read the same instruction manual.
Right.
That ain't,
Exactly.
that's not the way you shut that off.
I'll tell you right now, we only got it Father's Day, but that's how Rick does all the cooking. And that's how Rock gets out of cooking. I will be going to the store tonight to get him another one. I'll tell you that.
We'll have another grill here tomorrow. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, that's straight up a necessity around here.
Nothing wrong with that. That's for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you hear that? Say it again.
Thank God I was freaking out. I don't have to turn the button off. I just turned it off. So it shut because it was in the shutdown mode.
She wasn't taking the blame for that. She knew what she did.
I didn't know what I was doing.
She's fine. She's fine. She didn't do anything wrong.
I was doing the directions. Because I had my glasses on and was reading it. It said off and on. So I turned it on. When I got done, I turned it off.
Exactly. Different class. I learned how to do this on a different YouTube channel than you.
That's right. Yes. Well, not all men, but a lot of men don't read the directions. I'm sorry. And a lot of women don't too. Okay. But I do. But I do. Because I also know that is my lifeline out there. If something happens to that damn trigger, I have to cook. So, yeah. We don't want no problems. JD says, I donated 2 murder defendants in my life. One was Penny and other was Karen Reed. Took me 6 months of deep dive in Karen's case before I did hers. But Penny was automatically, Penny is the Marine. If you're in the chat, Penny is the Marine that got that guy on hold in the subway and was choking him and ended up killing him, and they put him on trial.
Right.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, if they'd have found him guilty, I'd have lost my shit. Hey, Natalia, I haven't seen you in a while. Hey, Rock, did you see that missing baby Caleb? Weird story. I have not. I've really pretty much. Has anybody else? Have you seen that, Christopher? Because I have not.
I haven't. What? The other only weird one I'd seen was the big murders down in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Other than that, I really haven't caught any other news this last couple of weeks.
Oklahoma, and then in Ohio, there was 3 women and 2 guys shot. Also, just what was it yesterday? I don't remember what state it was, but guy shot his whole family, and the 17-year-old son was found in the garage, and everybody wondered why he didn't call the cops. So he's got a major brain injury, and they said he had been shot in the house and got himself out to the garage. Listen, this world's crazy.
It is
crazy. If you're going to go out New Year's, you better be prepared at what you're going to run into, because this world is crazy.
Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to catch up on the latest shooter. I guess this is a girl that done a school shooting.
Yeah,
I haven't either. I just seen little tales of it. That was starting to spark my interest. And so it was because she had a shirt from a band that the Columbine killers worshipped. So they were looking in to see if she was somehow connected. It was a 15-year-old that was into skeet shooting and stuff with her dad. And actually, I didn't get into it too deep, but it was something about that. And then, like I say, they had a picture of her shooting that skeet shoot at her school competition with the band shirt. I don't even remember what band it was, but it was one that the Columbine shooters had. So they were looking into that. And
yeah, this is. I don't know. I know the world's crazy. It's nuts. As a matter of fact, it's so crazy.
I'm a firm believer, and I guess we're going to have to get an armed guard in every school, whether it be an armed teacher or something, to stop this from happening, because these kids think they can get away with it. And
Christopher, so Kelly says, smart man, that Rick. Rock didn't do anything wrong. Oh my gosh. So Natalie says the parents were found dead due to a car accident and their baby was missing from the car.
Oh, wow.
I did try to put that in search and it's just bringing me something up from Austin from 2021 from that name.
Boy.
Sam's mom says, hello, everyone. Did you see the Christmas village in Germany that someone drove through, killed 2, injured? 76? No. No, I haven't seen that yet.
Well, back to the one before. If the parents were found dead in an accident and the baby was gone, wouldn't that be a rescue mission?
Well, yeah, but now she's saying, well, mom flew to hospital in critical condition. So.
But the baby was supposedly in it when the wreck happened, huh?
That's what she thinks is going on there. Yeah.
Wow.
Is that the toddler that's missing? Okay. And all of these people donated to Luigi, but not to Penny. How infuriating. I agree. They're okay with Luigi going and just killing the CEO, and they had to shut down all them GoFundMes. Christopher, people made GoFundMes for the guy that killed that CEO in New York. That's crazy. But we're not going to protect our soldiers. It's, this guy was really trying to save everybody on the subway. Hey, Brian Rambles, it's good to see you. I don't know what happened to your orange one. He messed up his avatar, it looks like. So. Grueling day, Brian says. Lady, come back. Let's go on now. Bad day for his pancreas. I hope you get to feeling better. Grueling stuff.
Yeah, we definitely need to include that one too. Father God, we need some health. We still got sickness going on, and we're not seeing total restoration. We're asking for you to step in, Father God, and cover our families and all of our people that are going through these things on the holidays, whether it's depression or whether it's sickness, or we just need a hedge of protection over this whole family, Father God. Please, we're asking, we know it's possible, and cover our family, at least past the new year. Amen.
Amen.
Yes.
You still got your dog by you, Christopher?
Oh, yeah.
Brian loves to see dogs.
She's my hipster.
I know. Brian is all about the doggies.
She was scratching, so I took her collar off of her so she gets to run around a little bit without her collar. She says, I'm naked, Dad. I can run around.
I do that with my dogs, too. I'll take the collar off, and they don't want them back on either, but they have to have them back on.
No, mine was really, if it wouldn't be the law here in the building I live, you got to have them on a leash. I wouldn't, mine would follow me through the building anywhere. Right. I don't need any.
Health, wealth, and happiness equals true wealth.
Yes, that's for sure.
Well, Brian, you were in AC? Like, are you in the States, Brian? How are you in the air conditioning? Where's it so nice out that there's air conditioning?
Oh, it was pretty. 2 days ago, I thought it would have felt nice, but not today.
Yeah, today it's 32 here right now.
And it is freezing out there. Dog talking. She's going to the first patch of grass she sees and getting it done, and looking at me. It's time to go back in.
Oh, he's talking about his dog being in the air conditioning. Okay. Well, Christopher, we're almost on 3 hours, and if I ever do an hour live, it'll be an absolute miracle.
Yeah. Well,
but
I have to honestly say,
I don't mind doing a 3 hour live when there's people talking and we're actually doing something. You know what I mean?
Okay, the worst thing that could ever happen was that I started talking to you on here because we don't do an hour short phone call. So
I know.
how could we ever shut it off in here on an hour?
Right. Yeah, we stay on the phone a lot, don't we?
Yeah, they shouldn't put those little counters in the upper corner because after I shut off a call, it's like, wow, I was on that long. What is that supposed to do for you? Make you feel guilty? I don't know. No short conversations.
JD says he lives in the country, don't have to collar his dogs. He's got 3. They had a dead coyote in the front yard today. I'm afraid collar might hurt them if the coyote grabs
Exactly.
the fight. I agree.
Exactly. Yep.
But I'm in the city, and by law, they have to be vaccinated and it has to be on their collar.
Yep.
So I don't have that luxury of being able to not have it on there. So
Yep. The laws provide a lot of things that, but yeah, he's definitely right. You don't want the dogs out there in the wild. In fact, I had one dog that one time got hung up on a fence with his collar.
Yeah, with collar. Yep.
And luckily I found him before he choked to death, but he'd been there quite a while.
For sure. Well, I think we're about ready to wind this down. You probably need to take the dog out, and I'll be honest with you, I got some bare knuckles I want to watch. So
there you go. Something to fill the gap in tonight, huh?
well, that's what I like to do. So if I can watch my KU basketball and watch my bare knuckles in UFC, that's what keeps me happy.
Right.
So
yeah, tomorrow the Chiefs game. So
see, I'm not a big football person, but
I got a bunch of Bills.
Yeah, this channel's
Bills fans.
boxers.
They're gonna get right through this, and it's getting pretty intense. Bills are gonna have to come to Kansas City and play if they gonna get to the Super Bowl. I don't think that's gonna.
Mahomes is hurt. Mahomes is hurt. His ankle's hurt.
No, he's playing tomorrow. Yeah, they already said it today that he wouldn't quit practicing. He practiced all week and everything.
Well, Rick lied to me because Rick told me Mahomes is out.
No, they said he's going to play. He ain't messing around. I really wanted him to. This will be the one game that Wentz should be able to play, and we still win. And thought we'd get a rest because then we play again in 4 days. This is real short after that. Got to play Pittsburgh. That's who I'm worried about. But the problem is they got Hollywood Browns is back and going to play in this game. Mahomes has been waiting for that weapon all year. He's not going to let Mick Brown go out there and play without him. There's no way.
I could go to any game I wanted to. One of my really good friends too, Rita, her nephew, his name's Nick. I'm not going to say his last name, but you can look it up. But he is the vice president of all of the operations at Arrowhead. I'm just not. Man. Derek Thomas was my friend. I've got all kinds of pictures of me and Derek Thomas. But I would go to games and just hang out. I've just never been a football person. Mine's always been basketball. I am a basketball guru.
Well, just a subtle hint. Drop some hints that you need some playoff tickets because, boy, it's going to get good this year. Man.
I might have to show up to their Christmas Day dinner just so I can talk to Nick.
Yeah, there we go. I'm telling you.
I wanted to go to Jelly Roll, and I didn't realize Jelly Roll was actually at Arrowhead until the day of. And
that would have been.
I was going to try, that's for sure.
Boy, did you see Taylor Swift release a religious song?
She did?
Yes.
I don't know, but my grandbaby told me, Grandma, I'm a Swiftie. And she's 5. I said, you're a what? I'm a Swiftie.
Right.
I need to hear some Taylor Swift. I'm a Swiftie.
Right. Well, I tell you, I was shocked. She actually, it's Jesus Christ lyrics and everything in it. She took a big old, bashing over that one. I think maybe this married life is going to treat her well, and she's going to turn her head and stop preaching about breakup songs.
Right. And I'll be honest with you, when I'm not on here, I've been watching it unfold and actually talking to my friends, but I like Ryan Upchurch. He's a friend. I like Outlaw Nation. That's who I always play for you guys. They're friends.
Yep.
and they're fighting with Jelly Roll because Jelly Roll and a bunch of other rappers were signing deal with record labels, and that's the whole thing with Ryan Upchurch is independent, and he went and
Mhm.
secretly videoed people, and so you think we got drama over here in Crew Crime? Let me tell you about the drama that's going over in the musicians world. It's gotten crazy over there.
Right.
I was like, holy crap. Only YouTube will do it. The thing I will tell everybody about YouTube, if you go to a channel you don't like, don't go back. Don't go in there. Tell them how mean they are. Don't go in there and tell them, how horrible of a people they are. Just don't even go there.
Yeah,
I
don't
see
watch it
Micah's
again.
here. I see Micah's here, and listen, me and Micah has gone a long way together. And
Go
sometimes
Steelers. What is that, Micah? Steelers.
he is a Steelers fan.
And
Him and Bianca, I believe I was the very first one. In another channel, I was the one who picked who the mods were. And, sometimes they've never been against me. They send me stuff and stuff. And I'm so glad Micah's come back. I know Bianca will come back. Bianca was here the other day, and she got threatened by a lot of people. And it was previous people that was original, my very first mods. I'll just say that. And Micah is not drunk. I don't even think Micah drinks. But anyway, Micah and Bianca, they'll be back on this channel. I'll just say that.
I can tell you, I'm a Kansas City fan because I live in Kansas, but I'm really a Redskins fan, and I would love to see the Redskins play the Chiefs in a Super Bowl, be an all Indian battle. That's been my life dream. I don't see it happening this year, but I'm sure hoping.
Okay. So they're saying Micah's drunk because he's rooting for the Steelers. That's what
exactly. It takes a lot of drinking to root. No, I like the Steelers. I watch every football game. So what do you say? I keep up on every team, and they got a history, and man, they're tough. I'm scared.
My brother was a Steelers fan. My brother played for Butler, and he's really good. He went to the Steelers. He made the team and got in a fight with one of the side coaches, and he didn't last very long. Didn't even get to play his first game. But that's always been his team too. Micah says that Eagles, Steelers all the way. Super Bowl this year, baby.
They got to get through Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to find out on Christmas, aren't we? It's going to give a little pre-match.
That's what I was hoping.
That's the Chiefs play Steelers on Christmas Day.
Yeah, we might have to go live and play it on my channel.
Oh, that would be awesome. I guarantee you that Steelers game that's the one I was hoping they was going to rest Mahomes up for this game, let Wentz get some practice in, and then he'd be all the way back for.
Can you handle a little banner back and forth, Christopher?
Oh yeah, nothing better.
Because Micah can too. I'm in. Let's go.
I cheer for both teams. I'm just critical of both. I mean, if they make a mistake, I point it out. If they do something good, I like it. There's nothing better than a good football game and what do you say? It used to be a good gathering. We used to sit and drink a lot of beer and watch football, but it's been 5 or 6 years since I even had a beer. Boy, I bet I'd be one of them cheap drunks. Try to give me a wine cooler, and I'd be falling down the stairs.
Yep.
That's for sure. Yeah, that's going to be.
Alcohol's a lot stronger than it used to be.
Yeah, well, that's what they say about the marijuana too. I don't think it's as clean as it used to be. So I'm not falling for that one either.
Well, the reason the marijuana is stronger is because it's not just growing outside and growing. They're growing it in hydroponics, using different kind of chemicals growing it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, there was nothing ever any better than the old natural, the best skunk. When you got the number one skunk, and you had that good munchy high, and I can't believe that they could make it any better. In fact, I think all the flavors.
Okay, yes, that's right. Ryan Rambles, I can see you. You are not blocked. I would never ever block you. I see you. JD said, I used to be big into football, but Jerry Jones fucked that up, taking the knee. That was the last game I watched. My husband is a Cowboys fan,
Oh,
and he didn't like
yeah.
that either. But that's back when old Kopernick or whatever his name was starting all that shit.
I used to like the Cowboys when I was a kid when they outed Tom Landry when Jerry Jones first bought that team. That was the first mistake, and I've been a Cowboy hater ever since.
Well, they are considered the America's team. The Cowboys are.
When I was a kid, that was the only thing you could think about. Oh, that was the only game you ever got to watch.
Right.
You know, and then, like I say, when he did that to Tom, Jerry Jones he messed up everything about football, as far as I'm concerned. And now he's having to eat it. And he go hire a new coach, and he's got a good one. Mike McCarthy's a good coach. He's got to give him some ability and some players to do something with. And that's how Redskins got their. Shouldn't say Redskins. They haven't got the name back yet. The Washington Commanders, but supposedly the Redskins name's coming back, which I'm sure hoping, because Redskins has been in my Google name since I was like 12 years old. Now, I guess I didn't have a Google name then, but as soon as I could get a Google account, so I need to get them back. But yeah, Jay, he messed up everything, and he killed I can buy myself a team, and I can buy them to look good, and he has tours that take them through the practice facility, and I mean it's like being on show if you play for the Cowboys.
Right.
You might as well say you're a dime store attraction that they're charging big dollars for. But it's worth a lot of money. He's got an expensive team, but it's been a lot of years.
We went through
since they won.
When they put up the new building. We went through there, and I paid for a paid tour.
Yeah,
we got a really good guy. My husband got to stand right where Jerry Jones stands in that bulletproof area there, and we got to go through the lockers, and it was enjoyable.
Yeah, that's why he makes his money doing that. Turned it into a tour.
I'll tell you what, it's worth if you're a fan of the Cowboys, it's worth going to see.
Yeah.
I got to see. My friend had cancer, and she was from Minnesota, and I took her back to say goodbye to her friends. And the next day was going to be the very first Viking game. So we went downtown, and I had not been downtown since they had redid the bridge. Remember when the bridge fell and killed all them people?
Yeah.
In Minnesota. So I wanted to go see the bridge because they've got it all lighted and stuff. And we went down to the stadium. At the time, this is how long ago it was, Prince had just died, and he was at the corner right directly across the street from the stadium. Well, anyway, that the stadium fenced off, and they had a Luke Bryant concert going. But they did have the stadium fenced off, and there was a little hole that I could crawl under, and I got under there. And my friend Annette, like I said, she was dying of cancer, so she had a walker and stuff. And I literally went around, and there was a door, and it was for employees, and I went in that door, and I videoed the whole inside of that stadium for her. She calls and says, "Where are you at?" I said, "I'm actually inside." Nobody stopped me, asked me what I was doing or nothing, so I just carried on.
Right.
Acted like I belonged there.
That's the best kind. Actually, this is going to be real enjoyable for me because the Redskins hired their coach from the Cowboys that took over, Dan Quinn. So it's extra juicy that they get a beat. They play. I think that's right after Christmas. It's the last game of the year. Cowboys and Redskins.
Do you stay home and watch it, or do you go out to watch it?
We actually have a video room up on the 12th floor here that has all cable, so we go up there and watch it.
So other people in your building go there?
Yeah, there's a few of us football fans that gather up there.
I hope you got Chiefs gear.
Oh yeah, we got quite a few Chiefs fans in this building. They're diehards. There's about 4 or 5 ladies that they watch in their own rooms, but as soon as the halftime, boy, they're outside giving us their rundown too. And it's like, man, they're pretty knowledgeable on it.
Yeah, cackling at you, are they?
Yeah, they like to do that. Give us a hard time. I say it's a pretty nice building and real nice people to live around. And my dog's she got a couple. I got in trouble yesterday. She got a little friend, and she seen her friend go out, and we went the opposite way around the building. And before we got back in, her friend had come inside, and she didn't get to see her. Oh man, she pouted for me. I was like, what? We went out. I didn't get to see Winter. You could just see that look in her eye. She, come on. Today we went down and she was there, and they started playing right in the elevator.
Now, when you go to watch football, can your dog go with you?
Actually, the dog's not supposed to go up there. We'll be on because they got nice couches and stuff. I mean, I guess you could, but no, I normally let her stay in the room, and then she gets mad at me.
Well, she's got a new toy. She's got your new hat that she ripped up.
Yeah. Boy, she's got half the brim gone. She's working on it. It won't be much of a hat by tomorrow.
No more hats laying around.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely lost that ability. It's the first one she ever did that to, but I understand. And I ain't going to take it away from her. And it is my fault for not having more toys that she can play with. She's spoiled.
This person says, my son-in-law, Chiefs fan. He lived next to Rock. Lives next to me.
Wow. If I had my way, like I say, this, I'm pretty convinced that they're going to do this three-peat. If there's any chance of it, and the way that they haven't had their team together all year, so nobody has any film to study on them, nothing like that, because they ain't had no weapons. So that's going to make it that much harder for every team to try to pregame for them. And I'm telling you, that's still that defense. Since they were in the Philadelphia Super Bowl, they have not allowed more than 30 points by any team. That defense is outstanding, So, we're not talking. And they spent a lot of money on weapons this year. And shoot, they went so far now they slid Joe Tooney, which is their guard, put him over at left tackle, and he's doing a pretty decent job for being about half the size of most tackles. Most of your left tackles are about 50 pounds, maybe even 100 pounds heavier than what your guards are. And he's in there working. After last game, all he would say was, that Myles Garrett sure is a good player. He worked him to death. It's a good one.
Mike, I'll try to figure out, do you guys know what channel that's going to be in?
I don't. I think on Christmas Day, it's going to be a Netflix.
Oh, really?
Sure. Yeah, because I don't think we're going to have it in. In fact, I think that's going to be the biggest problem in the building is nobody has Netflix. Well, one of my next door neighbor does. He'll watch football with, so I know he's got it in his apartment. I think it's going to be Netflix on Christmas. They're doing all this. There's 12 days of Christmas, and there's supposedly 10 days of football right now. It just started, so there'll be 10 days of different games. There's a game on Friday. There's a game on Saturday. There's a games on Sunday, Monday. I think all the way till it might even be till New Year's that they're doing that.
I got to see if I can figure out a way to do it. Damn, I don't know if I can. I have Netflix, but I have it on my Fire Stick.
Yeah, I think that Netflix is where that Christmas game will be. I haven't checked into it, but I think so.
Micah, do you know they're saying local NBC?
On Christmas?
Yeah, Eagle Stars and Stripes says local NBC.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I hope it is. I got NBC in my room, so I got a 52-inch TV.
Yeah, NBC.
That would be great if it's Christmas. It should be because it's a Christmas Day game.
What channel's the game on with the Chiefs and the Steelers on Christmas Day?
He'll
tell us.
Right.
What channel is the Chiefs and the Steelers on Christmas Day?
I'm going to assume they're on Channel 12, but I don't see CBS.
He's assuming He's saying CBS. You're saying NBC, but he hasn't looked it up. He's gonna look it up.
I was thinking it was Netflix because they did something like that on another. Well, Netflix just
That's
tried
not fair to do us like that way.
Well, they just did the Jake Paul and Tyson thing, and that
Yeah,
was
but they're not our American football teams either.
well, no, Netflix, that was their first break in, and then they've got a couple of football games to do this season too. They got that fight, and then they got, I think it's 2 or 3 football games during the year. And I think it is the Chiefs and Steelers on Sunday or on Christmas Day.
Eagle
Netflix
Stripe says, yes, because of the issue with the fight, but only locally outside of KC area is Netflix only.
That's what I thought. So, we'll have to be it on Netflix because they won't even show it on KC. That's what I thought.
Are we not locally?
If you're 50 miles,
Rick come back and said it is on Netflix.
yeah, if you're 50 miles outside of KC, you're considered out of area.
I don't know how to get Netflix on my computer.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was, Netflix.
I've never seen Netflix on my Fire Stick, but not on my computer.
Right. Yeah, we're into that type. They're getting ready to heist us on everything. For years, I had DirecTV Sunday Ticket, which showed you every NFL game. It didn't matter where it was at. That was worth paying for.
Right.
Then they lost that contract, and it's been sold now to 4 or 5 other networks, and YouTube got it this last one, and it's now it's nothing when you got to have 5 or 7 subscriptions a year to watch the football games you want.
Well,
if you're like me, everyone.
Basketball moved to ESPN Plus, and I've always had ESPN Plus, but it went up almost $69. I paid $99 now a year. But half of my KU games is on ESPN Plus.
Yep.
They're gonna get our money somehow.
Oh, yeah, you ain't kidding. Well, I'm glad KU got their losses out early. I was hoping they wasn't going to carry that number 1 jacket all year. Now it's over, so they got a better chance of being able to be in the big show at the end.
Yeah.
There's nothing better. That's a good game to go watch too. Nothing better than a KU game or an Arrowhead game. Man, right. They're outstanding. I've been to several other stadiums in the U.S. and nothing compares to those 2 places.
Right.
Even when the Jayhawks would play there at Kemper Arena in Kansas City, it sucks compared to what it was at Allen Fieldhouse.
It's called Sprint now, but yeah.
Yeah, it used to be Kemper. That was back when we had an actual NBA team back. Kansas City Kings was in there. And I just learned that the Kansas City Kings tried to draft Magic Johnson and ended up losing that. Or, boy, that would have saved the Kansas City market. But he got hit instead of the Lakers getting him. That's for sure.
Let me tell you, the market's big. They've got
Kansas City's
pro soccer. They got pro and semi-pro baseball teams. They got it going on there in Kansas City.
Yeah, and they're supposedly in the bid for the next WNBA team. That's what I was told. They're trying to, if they do a draft or expansion again next year, they're in the pool to try to get one.
Guess what we got coming here? It'll be the second time we've hosted at Intrust Arena. We'll have the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 here again.
Right.
This is our year. Yeah, this is our year. I'm excited.
Right.
Definitely exciting.
Like I say, really Kansas, and especially since they were the first one to allow sports betting, they've been getting a lot more. got a lot more revenue because there's a lot of money going through Kansas on that. That's why Kansas don't worry about or getting pot to be legal. They got tax money coming off sports betting.
Yeah, Kelly, I'll see what I can figure out because I don't have a Netflix account. I have a Fire Stick, that gets everything, if you know what I mean. My son-in-law might have a Netflix account, and if he does, I'll borrow it. Let me see what I can do. I'll mess around with it before Christmas.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be. I say that's the holiday spirit there,
Hmm.
and it's got to be a good game. But man, the Steelers, they are playing good, and and what's so sad about that is the quarterback that they got is the one that the Broncos are paying for him to play in the Steelers. He's actually getting like $40 million a year from the Broncos for not playing for him. So he went to the Steelers in like $2 million contract and went in there and told him, give me a chance, you know. And boy, once they put him in, that thing has come alive.
Mm-hmm.
A team's doing really good. And that's what they were needing since Roethlisberger retired. They ain't had a good quarterback. So Wilson might have saved his career, and it's very possible. I hate to admit it, but they got a tough game coming. And then we still got to play. Hopefully, then we still got to get the Bills in. Like I say, seriously, check into those Arrowhead tickets during the playoffs. See if there's anything you can do. Because man,
I will. I'll ask.
I'm telling you, they're
like Ohio. In Ohio, don't think they got to go. Oh wait, and then if you answer IO.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I'm telling you, it's going to be a good year.
Absolutely. Well, kids, we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go watch my bare knuckles that I actually paid for to watch.
There you go.
Micah, I gave you your wrench back. Micah and Bianca said, well, I don't want to cause you any problems with your mods and your people in there. Just don't cause no problems with my mods. Bianca and Micah never did anything to any of us, so
we don't have mod battles here no more.
We do
that's
not.
Been gone.
The trouble's
that's been gone for long.
Trouble's been gone. Not a problem.
One of these days we're gonna get that community room where we can all go compare notes against you going.
You know what? And I know Bianca wants to come back to the Discord, and Micah probably does too. I will sit down this weekend and fix that room, because it is nice going in there like we used to, and I can show anything in there.
Yeah, it's just nice to be able to go talk.
We can go in there and you could say, hey, you want to look up Derek's for me? I can look it up and not get copyright striked.
Right. Exactly. You know, we got to stop that. Yeah, we don't need any copyright strikes.
No.
Keep everything going, and we don't need to steal somebody else's information, because we're going to have our own, and it's going to be the honest.
Yeah, but we could definitely. Micah knows I know how to set up them rooms. I just haven't took a lot of time to it. I really got burned in Discord, and it will not happen again. I'll just say that it will not happen again. But it was nice to be able to watch stuff together and enjoy it together in the room. So I'll get that set back up. But for now, I'm gonna get off here, and I'm gonna watch this bare knuckles on my TV.
Alrighty.
So we'll go live. Yeah, maybe I'll go Sunday. I think I might go live Sunday. I've got some UFC fights tomorrow, and there was something else I got going tomorrow, but I think it's Christmas with Santa with my granddaughter somewhere. I just don't remember where. So I'll try to go live Sunday.
Tomorrow the Chiefs are playing the Texans, so that's when that is.
Right. There you go.
Boy, every football game is getting good this one. Did anybody see the Broncos game? They actually kicked a 3-point. It was, I can't even remember the name of the rule. I'd forgotten about it. It hadn't been done since the 70s. Free kick. Kicked a field goal on a kickoff and got 3 points, and then they ended up coming back and beating the Broncos. That was crazy. Wow. Yeah, there have been some crazy things go on this flat, and it's getting interesting.
That's right.
All right, well, you have a good evening.
Everybody's saying have a great night. Good night, rock and all. Good night to everyone. Night, rock. Love you. I love you guys all too. And I do appreciate Christopher coming up. And anybody in the chat, you can always come up here with us. Listen, it's a lot easier for me when I'm not just talking to myself. So you're always welcome up here. Anybody. And Christopher, thank you for coming up. And like I said, you got that. You're the elephant that I need. So
we won't let anything slip by that we don't figure out.
That's
I'm
right.
praying for the second knife to be found or
Yeah.
location. That's what I'm
Absolutely.
praying for.
Well, let's keep talking about it.
You know?
And I was told something yesterday, and if it's true, your girl might go find that knife. I was told where it's believed to be. I'm not afraid to go there, so
Right.
let me think about that one. But yes, night everyone. Much love. Christopher,
Good one.
enjoy your evening. We're
Yep.
out of here.
Have a good night. Everybody love. Have a good night.
Much love. Thank you guys. See you later.